There are teams every year that are supposed to be good and they get off to poor starts. Oh God, we have a slight problem here.
You can't punt on an entire position group if you don't parlay those players into pitchers on other teams, don't attack the free agent market enough, or don't build a state-of-the-art pitching lab. You're going to wind up where you do right now.
They've also lost 9 straight games in the postseason.
Yeah.
Why do you keep doing that?
Oh my God, we stink. Oh my God, we're never going to win another game. Oh my God, the season's over. Don't you panic. I'll tell you when to panic, and it's not quite yet.
The stars will light up again in a type of way I can read it. They told me to face and win it about all the things I defeated. That's what I needed. Something doesn't feel right. Feeling constantly in the back of my mind. I should have never popped it. Now I really wanna talk about it. Setting in place, they said was crucial. Is it got the same face I was used to? Spending the time inside the window. And making my mind was people end up. The scary part is I could do it all again, cause I feel like I'm different. Because of revelations coming out of your mind. Basically, elevation my time. Data. Last time I took a trip, I was feeling bad for myself. On a different kind of level. And now I'm a different kid, got the same dreams, but motivation something doesn't feel right. Floating constantly in the back of my mind. I should have never popped that. Now I really wanna talk about it.
When I started doing MLB rebuilds last year, never in 1,000 years did I believe I would be rebuilding the Baltimore Orioles this early. However, bad ownership does bad ownership things, and the Baltimore Orioles have squandered a young core this early into their essential rebuild and thrown away what are the opportunities to contend right now due to cheap ownership and poor management decisions. We are going to try to reverse that today and actually manage the Orioles how they should be managed. The Orioles have one of the most uniquely great young cores in all of baseball. At almost every position, they have superstar potential talent across their lineup, and it's hard to deny that we see a lot of chances for this team to contend if they manage it correctly. However, due to the failure to invest in pitching and just overall roster talent, they've found themselves as one of the worst teams in the league. As I'm recording this, worse than the Chicago White Sox. One of the reasons this is so embarrassing is just due to the sheer amount of generational talents they have on their roster and in their core of prospects. The big one being Gunnar Henderson, who last year was in the MVP race, won Rookie of the Year in 2023 and a Silver Slugger, hit 281 and racked up almost a 900 OPS last year, was one of the best players in all of baseball at the age of 23. On top of that, you have Jackson Holliday, who last year didn't look necessarily that great in his rookie season, but this year in 2025 has looked very good thus far, even though he's been performing on a very below league average Orioles roster. We have Jordan Westburg and Kobe Mayo at third base. You have Heston Kierstead and Colton Cowser in the outfield. We're talking about Adley Rutschman, a player who really turned this team around when he came up, and there was a streak where they did not lose a single series since he arrived in the major leagues. Since then, that has not necessarily been the case. On top of this, we also have prospects in Mlbtheshow who are on their way as well. This team all around should be great, and there should be no denying its future as a generational dynasty in baseball. However, bad ownership has given us a position where right now we don't even have Gunnar Henderson under an extension, and Jackson Holliday could be under one, and we're talking about Colton Cowser, Jordan Westburg, a lot of these core pieces who should be getting these extensions. These are guaranteed dominant players in Major League Baseball, and there's a good chance in 3 to 4 years none of them will be on Baltimore. The real problem with the roster, however, is the pitching staff, which has dealt with a lot of injuries, so it is a little bit explainable, but the team has really just squandered almost every opportunity they've had. They've traded away some of their top prospects. They've traded for Corbin Burns and then didn't re-sign him, and that has worked out due to his injuries, but it seems like just a decision-making process that doesn't make a lot of sense. So today, what we are going to do with the Baltimore Orioles roster in general is we are going to do something that they will not. We are going to spend money. We are going to turn this into a dynasty. We are going to give contract extensions to Jackson Holliday and Gunnar Henderson and Jordan Westburg and Kobe Mayo and Colton Cowser, and I don't care, all of them are getting money. We are paying all of them. In turn, we are then going to turn this into a dynasty. We are going to build the team that they should be, even if most fans know they never will be. But if we're going to do something unrealistic, like actually spend money in Baltimore, we do have to do something realistic. And I think that the one thing we're going to do realistic in this rebuild is we are going to be real to the 2025 season. The Orioles are not going to contend this year. And so to try to emulate this the best as possible, we are going to trade all the assets that they should trade at the deadline as early as possible to just depict what this team should do if they're not trying to contend in 2025 but will in 2026. I'm not going to reverse history. This team is going to be bad in 2025, but we can look forward to a future where the greatness is going to be realized. The first player that is likely to be participating in the fire sale this coming trade deadline is going to be Cedric Mullins, who is on the last year of his contract. While I'd love to keep him around, and I think Orioles fans love him, I'd say one thing you have to look at is that it's pretty unlikely he'll be able to re-sign this coming offseason. And so in turn, I want to be able to get something back for him from a team that I think will want a center fielder with the defensive ability and contact ability that Cedric Mullins has. That's going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. There are a lot of rumors already with him possibly being traded to the Dodgers, and I think the move that makes the most sense for us is to get a pitching prospect back. The one I want is Landon Knack. I actually think he's probably their best pitching prospect that works in this game. And so Landon Knack is the one I want to get, but I am going to get a few other guys too, because Knack is not necessarily the highest overall. We're going to get Bobby Miller as well, who is a relief pitcher in this roster, as well as Noah Miller, a second-round pick from 2021, who really isn't anything, but might as well throw him into the deal. This is going to be what we're going to get back for Cedric Mullins, the first expiring deal this year. The next pitcher that makes sense to be moved is Zach Eflin, who is also on the last year of his deal and will be a free agent this offseason. Now, there's no denying our chance of possibly bringing him back. I really like what Zach Eflin normally does in MLBTheShow. He's a very, very good pitcher when he's healthy. But when it comes down to it, it doesn't make a lot of sense for Baltimore to keep him in a year that they're not intending to contend. We're just trying to develop players here in 2025. And so we're going to get a few lower tier prospects from the Chicago Cubs who are in need of starting pitching. The main ones being Brody McCullough, a starting pitcher with only C potential in this game, but is actually decent in Major League Baseball, as well as Jordan Wicks, another relief pitcher who is a little bit better. I actually like his stats, could be interesting. The first round pick from 2021. We're going to get those plus BJ Murray Jr. for Zach Eflin. The last expiring deal we are going to be making is for Ryan O'Hearn, who has been very, very good so far to start off this season. Had a very, very good month of May. But when it comes down to it, once again, he is on an expiring deal. He is a first baseman, and he's pretty cheap at that. We're going to be trading him to the Guardians, who are in need of contention, and we're not necessarily sure that Carlos Santana is going to be able to uphold that first baseman, and if Manzardo is ready to take it. And Ryan O'Hearn can play in the outfield as well, so he's in a good position to possibly play another position if needed. We're going to get George Valera. That's probably the best prospect we are getting back. However, in this roster, he's not necessarily the best. Valera is a player who I think will never really contend for the Guardian spot with how good of an outfield prospects they have. But I like our chances with him. He's going to be added to this team. We're going to make one last move, and this one's a little bit stranger, and I hope I don't make you click off with this move. I want to explain my thinking. We are going to trade Mlbtheshow. Part of this is due to the fact that I'm going to invest my money into Adley Rutschman at catcher. Therefore, I don't think Mlbtheshow, who would be a first baseman then in this case, is going to be worth as much as a first baseman as he is right now as a very good catching prospect. And so if I can flip him into another good prospect in turn for a team who is in need of a catcher in the future, I think that we should take advantage of that. I also think we could replace and get a lot of backup catchers rather than have Basayo just be one. And so we are going to trade him to the Philadelphia Phillies. They are going to have an expiring deal here in JT Realmuto. And so having a backup catcher in Basayo makes a lot of sense for them. What we're going to get in return is one of their top 2 pitching prospects in Mick Abel, or it might be Mick Abel. I apologize if the pronunciation is wrong. I think he could be very, very good for us. He already has played a little bit this season and been pretty decent. I mean, he's not necessarily great, showing potential essentially. And I like the idea of getting him for Basayo, where we are going to need starting pitchers, so it doesn't really hurt. I think this move makes a lot of sense for us to build our pitching depth for the next couple seasons, while I know I'm going to have to draft a lot of them too. But sadly, Basayo is going to go. And so we'll finally start the 2025 season with a much worse roster than we began this with. I do like the top end of our pitching rotation. I'm happy now with the prospects we have to potentially build upon. There's still a chance we're going to sell off some guys here at the deadline, but it doesn't necessarily mean we are in full sale mode. I like a lot of players we have. I think there's a lot of guys who could perform very well for the rest of this, but we're going to be a bad team this year, and I kind of want that so that we can have a top pick in the 2026 draft like the Orioles actually will. So, let's get into it. It's going to be a bad season. Maybe we'll see some good production from Gunnar. I would love to see some good development from a lot of our guys, and hopefully we'll be able to develop into a team that will contend already in 2026. Going into this draft, I found a lot of actual players that I really like in the first round range, but we are Baltimore and they were actually decent last year, meaning that we are going to have a little bit of a tough time finding a good position to be able to get these guys. We have to hope somebody slips essentially to get to us. We have pick 19 and we have 4 second round picks. Thanks to all the progression of all of our guys. These draft picks are really going to help us out, but we're going to have to hit well on them, and I don't know if I'll be able to. I spent a lot of time trying to scout in that range. While I want pitchers, not many of them who were non-ranked jumped up the board. Most of the guys that we had that were low-ranked stayed there, and so the top-end guys like Esteban Rosa is somebody who I'm hoping we'd be able to get, but I doubt that any of these pitchers are really going to fall to us here in the second round. Really, with pick 19, we're swinging between 3 guys that I really hope are still there. If not, I have a 4th in place. Tim Chapel-Roan is going to be my top guy here. Looks really good across the board. Good bat, good third baseman. My only concern is that he won't want to sign with us because we have 2 other third basemen. So there's a chance, if everybody else is there, that I might not take him, but he does have such a good bat, we could invest in that. I just know we have a lot of picks, and it's going to be hard to sign this guy. A position that'll be a little easier for us to sign is center field, something that we don't really have any players at. And Todd Boyd is the top outfielder that I found on my board that would be available for me to possibly get at pick 19. He's got decent power and good defensive ratings, but nothing really special. I'm hoping that he could be interesting. I like that he's a little bit of a higher overall. The prototypical guy that I normally sign, Dana Caruth, is here, second baseman from Iowa. Good contact, good vision, good discipline. Don't need other second baseman because we have Jackson Holliday, but it does not hurt to look at a guy like this and say this guy could be a very good contributor to a competitive team. But what's likely to happen is Richie Pryor is going to be the first baseman available. There's a chance I just take a pitcher near the top, but if not, this is what I'm going to guess we're going to have available to us. Richie Pryor would be the top guy I would take. He's just good all around the board with his bat, and we need first baseman. This is probably the guy who will be on our team. So this is where we find ourselves in a tough spot. Of this board, Richie Pryor is available. Tim Chappell is available. Chappell is a better player, but he's going to be harder to sign at 36% motivation. Richie Pryor is a lock. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go against my intuition. I believe Chappell is the better player. I'm going to go against my intuition. I'm going to take Richie Pryor because I'm afraid with how many second-round picks I have that I'm not going to be able to sign everybody who I want if I go after Chappell. So I'm going to take Richie Pryor with our first-round pick. I kind of didn't want to be in this position. We are 500, playing a lot better than what I expected us to be. Remember, this is a season we are trying to not win, specifically because we're not supposed to. But offensively, we are really, really good this year. And when you look at our plus minus, we technically should, or our run differential, we should be well in a playoff contention, just due to how good our offense has been, which is great because honestly, we've traded away guys and it still means that our players are playing well. When it comes to all-stars, you can see we had an all-star starter in both Adley Rutschman as well as Gunnar Henderson. You can see Adley Rutschman is hitting 280 with 17 home runs and 46 RBIs. He's up to a 91 overall right now. And then we had Gunnar Henderson here at shortstop, starting hitting 276 with 19 home runs so far this season. Nobody else, and that makes sense, but I'm really happy with this from those two to be able to play this well thus far. I'm hoping we can continue to see their development and continue to see them get better. Those two are going to be the core pieces to this team. In this upcoming few weeks before the trade deadline, contract extensions will become available, and that is where I'm going to spend a lot of money extending Gunnar, Holliday, Rutschman, Cowser, pretty much the whole core. William Contreras just tore his pec, and so we're going to go back to the well with the Milwaukee Brewers. We're going to give them Gary Sanchez for a prospect and Vladimir Arestitito. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But the main reason is because I think it's time for Colton Cowser to come up. And if he comes up, then I can pay him. And so the window has been opened for 8 to 10 years for the Baltimore Orioles. And with this, we have spent over $1 billion on the 22nd of July. So you think you don't like cheap owners? I'm not a cheap owner. We have our core. BigIrrelevant has fallen off. Let's talk about it. 79 potential at first with Richie Pryor. That ends up not looking like that good of a contract for us. Rick Berger wasn't very good. This closer wasn't very good. Kelly James was okay. The back end of the draft was a lot better. These are guys that I had stashed, but they're not really good. This is a bad draft. This guy ended up being hurt. Wasn't good. So let's see what we missed out on. Now that one hurts. He was on my draft board. I was hoping he would be available in the second. He wasn't. Maybe should have just taken him in the first. Juan Montes. Very, very good. This is just a guy who I thought would have made it to us in the second round, and he didn't. This was another guy just like that. Jeff Braun, thought he might make it to us in the second. He did not either. Two guys that I liked really much. Like, these were the two guys I had slotted in the second round that just didn't. They got taken too early. Braun and Montes. Hurts to miss both of them. And yeah, so we messed up this pick. Tim Chappell. What's funny is I honestly didn't have any money to sign the guys, so we actually wouldn't have been able to sign that reliever anyways, which is why I didn't. So he might have been even harder to get, but we should have just went for it. Would have been better off, I think, to go after him because he's very, very good. And missed out on it. We basically pulled the Pittsburgh Pirates. We didn't have the money to sign the guy, so we didn't sign him. And we got the worst prospect for it. That's calling out Henry Davis, by the way, if you forgot what I'm referring to. And so getting past one of my worst drafts I think I've ever had in this game. I don't know. I've had some bad luck in the last couple of rebuilds. Just things are not going my way since they went so well in the first half of the MLB The Show cycle. But we are in the wild card hunt despite not really wanting to be. If we could lose some more games, that'd be great. But I think we're in a good position. We have our core is now in the lineup. The guys that we want to play are playing. Are they playing well? No, not necessarily. They could all be playing better. Adley's playing well. You can see Hauser is playing very well since we brought him up. I like to see that. But yeah, not everybody's playing well. We're still going to have to make moves, I think, this offseason to build around this. But I like the potential that we have currently with this roster. And I think that if they develop, we should see better production going into 2026. But first, let's see if we can make it to the playoffs. 83 and 79, we missed the postseason, which actually kind of hurts, I feel like, because we got too close. It'll help us have a little bit of an earlier pick, but not enough where it's significant. But missed postseason at 83 and 79. Importantly, though, we do get a Rookie of the Year from Kobe Mayo, the third baseman who we brought up to play mostly first this year, as well as DH. Ends up getting Rookie of the Year this season. MVP this year goes to Aaron Judge, who hit 286 with 41 home runs. Santander and Cal Raleigh in third place. Cy Young goes to George Kirby of the Seattle Mariners, though he looks like he stole it from Logan Gilbert, his teammate, who had a 2.19 ERA. We will scroll over. Kobe Mayo hit 28 home runs this year to get that Rookie of the Year, beating out Edgar Quero of the White Sox. Clear my throat for a second. Shohei Ohtani, MVP on the NL side with the 298 average, 55 home runs, 144 RBIs, beating out a 323 season from Bryce Harper. Cy Young goes to Blake Snell as 3 Dodgers take the top 3, per usual, 231 strikeouts for Snell. Taking a look at league leaders, Vladimir Guerrero leads the way with a 315 average, but Ryan O'Hearn, who we traded to the Guardians, ends up with 302nd place. In the AL, good for him. The hits leader was Vladimir Guerrero with 194 for the Blue Jays, and your home runs leader, Santander, with 43 for the Blue Jays. In the pitching department, Yohan Duran of the Twins leads the way with 49 saves, and the ERA crown goes to Jack Flaherty with a 1.93 ERA, 14-9, 1.93 with 157 strikeouts. I'd say he should have probably won the Cy Young this year. If you get under a 2, that's a Cy Young caliber season. And your strikeout leader was Cole Ragans with 201. On the NL side, your batting title goes to Bryce Harper, who hits 323 on the season for the Phillies. The hits leader was Shohei Ohtani with 188. The 2 DHs near the top with him and Ozuna tied with 188. Your home runs leader is going to be Shohei Ohtani with 55 for the Dodgers, who also got the lead in RBIs with 144. Your saves leader is Emilio Pagan, who had 57 saves for the Cincinnati Reds. That means they must have been pretty good this year. To end with 57 saves, very, very good. ERA leader Nick Lodolo, 254, also for the Reds, leading the way there. And your strikeout leader was Blake Snell with 231. The game sent down Tyler Wells, who in 55 innings pitched to a 2.95 ERA and a 1.29 whip. So a little bit lucky, I guess, defensively for him to be able to get a 2.95. Let's see who else they decided to send down. It doesn't look like anybody else. I think everybody else was still left up. Keegan Aiken with a 4.82 ERA, not very good in only 18 innings pitched, though. Landon Knack, who we traded for, is 5.14 ERA with a 1.45 whip in 61 innings. Not great, not what I want to see. He should be better next season, but yeah, not what I wanted to see. He should be more of a walks per 9, hits per 9 type pitcher. Brian Baker, 402 with a 1.64 whip was pretty bad, but Gregory Soto was good, 208 with a 1.13 whip on his season in 78 innings pitched. Sir Anthony Dominguez, 252 with a 1.13 was also pretty good there too. Yenier Cano with a 3.23 and a 1.11 whip was pretty good. Kittredge came up 1.74 only in 10 innings. And Felix Bautista, 3.38 with a 1.35 whip. So the bullpen on the back end was pretty good. Starting rotation, Grayson Rodriguez, who we signed to an extension, had a 3.83 ERA, 3.89 with a 1.23 whip with 153 strikeouts. For him, he got a $225 million contract. Kyle Bradish, 3.17 with a 1.11 whip, and Dean Kremer, 3.66. Gibson was pretty bad for 8 ERA, 1.41 whip in his age 37 season. And Tomoyuki Sagano in his season, 3.33 with a 1.28 whip. Pretty good for the 35-year-old rookie from Japan. Lineup-wise, the game sent down Dylan Carlson, who rightfully so was not very good this year with a 2.09 average and a 6.03 OPS. To a positive WAR, though, because he did play good defensively. Not very good for him, and we have a pretty bad, I think, back end of that lineup, just because we are so young. Ryan Mountcastle, 228 with 7 home runs. Meh. Ramon Urias, I brought up, he was hitting 333 in the AAA all season on over 500 at-bats. Brought him up. Didn't get much play for that back end of the season. Jorge Mateo, 205, not very good. Tyler O'Neill, 218. That's really rough for a guy who we're paying $16.5 million this year to play left field. Jackson Holliday, 249 with 18 home runs. I'll be curious to see how he did. 765 OPS, 0.9 WAR. Need better than that, Jackson. Manuel Rivera, 251 with 13 home runs. Gunnar Henderson, 38 home runs, 98 RBIs, and a 263 average. Colton Cowser ends up hitting 274 with 9 home runs. Westberg, 257 with 22 home runs. Kobe Mayo, your rookie of the year, hit 241 with 28 home runs and 86 ribbies. Very good for him. Adley Rutschman looks like our best offensive player this past year, and probably our best defensive player too. 290, 31 home runs, 90 RBIs across the board. Just got significantly better this year. 897 OPS, puts together his best offensive season of his career. One of his best defensive seasons for 6.2 WAR. Honestly, I can't believe he didn't get a Silver Slugger for that. Really, really good season for him. Oh, Cal Raleigh. I forgot. It is also in the AL. Heston Kierstead, 234 with 17 home runs. Wasn't that great. And our best defensive... I thought he was a good defensive player. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I thought Liriano... Well, he's got an arm. Can't really catch. But 1.2 WAR from him. Yep. This roster's got some places to grow. But I like its potential. And sadly, we're not going to have a very top-end pick. And we didn't draft well in 2025. We need to draft way better in 2026. Having about the same area of the pick. The Mariners defeat the Dodgers in 6 games in the World Series. Your World Series MVP is Jorge Polanco, who hit 375 with 2 home runs. Postseason MVP was also Jorge with 8 home runs over the postseason. And Mookie Betts got the National League side with 2 home runs hitting 360. So the Dodgers do lose to the Seattle Mariners. That's a pretty good story. Well, money does have a little bit of limitations, and so I think something we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut a little bit of the other money if we want to keep this team together. Tyler O'Neill is going to be the guy who I want to get out because he was not good last year, and I actually don't think he has that high of a ceiling. I know that he technically should, but I just don't see him really being very productive for us, and so I want to get him off the books, and I'm not going to get a whole lot back. Throwing in a Vladimir Restitutio because I don't really want him either. I want Braxton Garrett. I always want Braxton Garrett. Give me Braxton Garrett. I just love spending money. Hi, Luis Arias. You should make up for my failure of a draft pick. And we got a much cheaper replacement for Tyler O'Neill, Alex Verdugo in the outfield. Got him for under $10 million a year. I'll take it. And so here entering 2026, we are going to be the 8th ranked team as we have made some adjustments to our roster and now have gone from one of the cheapest rosters in all of baseball to one of the most expensive, sitting at a salary of $234 million thanks to paying the entirety of our young core, plus a few free agents. The pitching staff still has a lot of work to go. We have our ace in Grayson Rodriguez, but I need to draft some other pitchers so that we can have some cheap talent to go along with it. I like the idea right now of having Bradish and Braxton Garrett. I got Garrett for 5 years, $55 million. Generally, he's a player that I can get that I really like value. He's a good lefty who ends up being pretty good. Bradish is already up to... Oh, actually, no, he was 2.3. So I thought he was going to get a good deal in arbitration. He did not, thankfully. So Bradish sitting here at our 85 overall. Braxton Garrett, Landon Knack, Dean Kremer, Got Ryan Yarbrough off of waivers. We have Tyler Wells here. He is a little more expensive than I'd like. Then in our bullpen, we don't really have anything special here, just kind of mid-tier guys. I need to make sure that I can start building a bullpen and a pitching staff because this is definitely the weak link of the roster. Meanwhile, in the lineups, we have Luis Arias to now be our leadoff guy to get on base and hopefully help just the really powerful home run hitting bats we have, and Gunnar, Rutschman, and I think Holliday could become, and I think Westberg and Mayo. We've got some power bats here, so I need to get an on-base machine in Luis Arias to be able to make sure that they could have that. I know I get him a lot, but I think he's the perfect fit for this roster, especially because I don't think the first baseman we drafted was very, very good. So we've got a long ways to go there. And in the outfield, Verdugo's going to play as well. In the right, he's another guy who's more of an on-base percentage player, kind of what I was looking for. I also signed Weston Wilson, got him for $800K per year. So, and Jacob Stallings to be a backup catcher, because I figured I'd need one in case Adley does get hurt. There's also a chance that I just send him down and cut him. You never know. If I get a chance to get Adley 162 games and this guy stands in my way, then he's going to be standing in my way. I'll get rid of him. But that's the roster for this year. I think we should be able to contend for a playoff spot this upcoming season. We almost did last year, only a couple games out of the wild card. So let's see what we can do this year. And hopefully also I'll do much better in this draft. I feel as if I've cursed myself. My draft ability has just fallen off a map. It's like BigIrrelevant's just kind of fallen off, I would say. It's like I, posted a video and then since then MLB is torturing me for it because there's nothing in this draft that really looks very good and I just can't seem to find good players anymore. I did, however, find Walter Chang here, who is the #1 ranked guy on the board, non-ranked in the MLB board, but he doesn't look good. There's really no traits on him where I'd say this guy could be very, very talented. I'll still probably draft him if he's still there, but he's not first overall pick or, first round pick talent. What I'm hoping we can get lucky with is having Freddie Pryor drop to us. It's just not going to happen. This is the top guy on my board, 100%. Really, really good talent. All the traits I like is very good bat. He's not going to drop to us, though. I also found a right fielder in Juan Figueroa who could be interesting. There's really no traits that make him look like phenomenal, but it's something. Non-ranked, maybe he'll be available. And we have 3 first-round picks in this draft. I'm probably going to end up drafting a lot of pitching. The guy I'm hoping that I guess we can get lucky with, knowing that I don't think Pryor is going to be available, is Pablo Sandoval. Not the Panda, but he's from Michigan. I like that he's got high hits per 9 and high walks per 9. I mean, he's probably the best pitcher in this draft. I could also guess he could go pick 1, even though the MLB has him at 31. Freddie Pryor went at pick 9, and so I think the best decision for us to do would be to go for Pablo Sandoval, who I don't think is going to make it any further. I also do like Kevin McClure. Honestly, I'm surprised Hank Torres is here. If I would have known, I would have scouted him. But I guess I didn't, so I guess we won't know. And I'm not going to take the risk. There's also this closer who's very, very good too. But I think we just got to go with Pablo Sandoval. I think he's going to be the best pitcher in this class, if not Kevin McClure. But I think Sandoval will be the best pitcher. And we need an ace. At the All-Star break, we are sitting at 65-33, 10.5 games above the Yankees. A massive turnaround this year as we have really put together a considerably better roster. Surprisingly enough, it's the pitching staff. A 2.72 ERA for us so far halfway through the season. Only allowed 299 runs. That means we are the best pitching staff in all of baseball this year, which is really crazy to me because we didn't invest outside of Grayson Rodriguez and the trade for Braxton Garrett, but it has been really effective thus far. When we take a look at all-star voting, you can see Rutschman and Gunnar were all-star starters, but look at Grayson Rodriguez is an all-star, 11-4, 2.42 ERA with 107 strikeouts, and Braxton Garrett, who I always think is really, really good in this game, all-star for us as well. 2.18 ERA, 90 strikeouts with a 105 whip. We have 2 all-star starters. When it comes to bullpen arms, we also have Felix Bautista, who should not be. Straight up, should not be. He is 0-5, 4.89 ERA, 47 strikeouts, but he has 36 saves on the season halfway through because we're good. He's not good. We're good. He only has 3 blown saves, so I guess I can't hate him that much, but he's given up a lot of runs in those appearances. Adley Rutschman is an all-star starter, hitting 271 with 16 home runs so far. We didn't get one from Luis Arias, but we have one from Gunnar Henderson, who's hitting 301 with 27 home runs. He's probably not leading the MVP race. I bet you it's like these two guys are really shooting it out at that shortstop position. And then that's it. Oh, okay, never mind. Judge is probably leading the way. But we have a bunch of all-stars, and our pitching staff has been phenomenal to start. I mean, let's just look at that rotation. For us to be that good, Grayson 242, 281, 218, 210, 328. Wells at a 129. Yarborough's only had 4 appearances. Bullpen has been really good. Literally, our worst pitcher is Felix Bautista. He's our worst pitcher. That's crazy to me. We're also trading him in the offseason, but like, that's awesome. How is this pitching staff that good? All right, let's get to seeing what we have, because we're probably winning this division. Taking a look at our picks, I'm actually not that happy with the second round picks. I wanted to try some stuff. Pablo Sandoval, only 89 potential, but I still think that's very good. Good walks per 9, good hits per 9. Sadly, he's only a 63 overall, so it might take him a little bit to get there, but I still think he was probably the best pitcher we could have taken at that spot. I drafted Theodore Chan. He was like, he looked really good. He still probably will be, just not as good as what he looked like. Hank Torres was still sliding and still available in this with our compensatory picks there, so I just had to try it. It doesn't end up being worth it for us. We get Nelson Ling, 94 potential. By the way, the Hank Torres thing means that we lost out on Figueroa and Chang, who went right after it. That's who I could have taken in that spot. We'll check what those guys were at. Ling was good. Torres ended up being decent. Daryl Durbin, 98 potential, high walks per 9. He's pretty far away, but that's a fantastic pick for us. Navarro, 85 potential, and Bruce Jean, 71, as just a swing on a reliever. I think we actually did all right, because when you look at it, Freddie Pryor wasn't actually as good as he looked. I mean, he's still a really good bat. B potential, 84 potential. But I think we might have made the right move with Pablo Sandoval getting a better starting pitcher than what Freddie Pryor ended up looking like. Now, I don't know if we can get a left fielder of that caliber, but I'd still love to see if we could. I'm surprised that he wasn't actually that good. Figueroa was ranked 28th on the board and only had 79 potential and a 56 overall. If this is the 28th best player in the class, it's just a bad class. Chang was pretty good though. Good Ks per 9. I don't really like the hits per 9 and walks per 9. He's very good. But there's a good potential that I think that he might not end up developing really well. He's a 3-pitch mix. This is a reliever. He is not a starter. He's a reliever that has a lot of stamina. All right, I think we did well. Just not a good draft class. We have slipped a little bit in the pitching rotation, but we're still one of the best teams in all of baseball. And offensively, we're seeing that too. And right now, we're in a really good spot. We are 7 games up on the Yankees, who are also in there, and that puts us a lot of games over the wild card, where that's a 72 and 66 season. So we just need to go. We're 12 and a half games up in the wild card spot, essentially. Therefore, I think we're going to be making the playoffs. The question is, can we hold off the Yankees, as we have been a little bit worse in the second half of the season? And right now, I would say the big question is, can Gunnar Henderson beat out Aaron Judge for the MVP race with 1 month to go? Jorge Polanco is also third in this race. But we are in a tight race here. Judge has fallen to 325. Gunnar's jumped up to 311, and that's a big difference. If Gunnar can hold on, play better defense than Judge, which I think he is, and we can just get a similar production for this last month, he might be able to take it from him. 99 and 63, we win our division. Just one short of a 100-win season for us, and we are going to be taking on the winner of the wild card this season. And the big question, did we get the MVP from Gunnar? It was a very tight race. Did he beat out Judge? And the answer is yes. Gunnar Henderson is your 2026 American League MVP. He wins it with 43 home runs, a 319 average, and 122 RBIs, just over Judge's 325, 46, and 113. Phenomenal season for Gunnar. Being able to do this, that means that he is going to be an MVP at the age of 24. He's a 99 overall here at shortstop. A phenomenal season for him. Cy Young goes to Garrett Crochet of the Boston Red Sox, who had a 2.7 ERA and 197 strikeouts for him. Scoople probably deserves this, but I will not debate the Garrett Crochet. It's just always the wins are going to be very valued in this game. When it comes to the National League, Ronald Acuna leads the way. 326 average, 43 home runs, 124 RBIs. His second MVP, and one of the cheapest MVPs ever, to say that he got 2 MVPs on a $12 million contract. Caro finished second, Kyle Tucker in third now with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Cy Young goes to Shohei Ohtani, does not deserve it. Why is that a Cy Young? 4.13 ERA is a Cy Young? That's terrible. For league leaders, Felix Bautista led the way with 55 saves for us, and we also had leaders with Gunnar Henderson with 122 RBIs, 201 hits, and runs with 116, and WAR 8.4. Batting average and the batting title goes to Aaron Judge with a 325 average over Gunnar. When it comes to hits, though, Gunnar had more, 201 over Judge's 184, so larger sample size. When it comes down to home runs, Judge beats out Gunnar 46-43, though Gunnar led the way in triples with 10 this season and RBIs with 122. Your saves leader was Felix Bautista of the Orioles with 55. He led the way despite being not good this season. He blew 8 saves, could have had over 60 saves if he was semi-decent. Just a lot of save opportunities, just messed up a lot of them. ERA crown goes to Pablo Lopez of the Twins, the 2.4 ERA, just above Clark Schmidt with a 2.41, and strikeout leader was Garrett Crochet with 197. On the NL side, Kyle Tucker leads the way for batting average with a 329 for the Dodgers over Acuna and Contreras. When it comes to hits, Xavier Edwards leads the way, though, with 198, one more than Bo Bichette now with the Pirates, and Ahmed Rosario with the Colorado Rockies. When it comes to home runs, the leader was Kyle Tucker with 43, tied with Acuna with 43, one above Corbin Carroll, and RBI leader was Corbin Carroll with 139. The saves leader in the NL was Dory Moretta with 49 saves for the Pittsburgh Pirates, another one of those that is probably a lot of opportunity-based. ERA goes to Tyler Glasnow with the 2.74 ERA for the Dodgers, and your strikeout leader was Blake Snell with 206. There is still no explainable way why Shohei Ohtani wins the Cy Young over anybody else in this race. But okay, MLB The Show. The game once again sent down Tyler Wells, who pitched to a 2.98 ERA and a 1.2 whip in 48 innings. Very, very good out of the bullpen. I don't understand why he keeps getting sent down, but he's very productive. I like what we've seen out of him. Jordan Wicks also got sent down. He came up in September and got lit up in that last month. So he's still not ready to pitch. Part of our trade so far with Zach Eflin. They have Povich, they brought up Yarborough, terrible 6.97 with a 1.84 whip. We just brought him in off of waivers, and I am going to probably get rid of him this season. Should not have really invested in him. Thought he could be something. I mean, it's still only 10 innings, but it's not very good in those 10 innings. Chad Green, 2.37 with a 1.05 whip. Gregory Soto was pretty poor this year, 4.57 with a 1.52 whip. Keegan Aiken, 3.87, 1.28 whip. Yenier Cano, 2.28 with a 0.93 whip. Sir Anthony Dominguez wasn't good, 4.11 with a 1.25 whip. And Bautista was not good either, though he did lead the league in saves. I think we're going to trade these guys. I need to save some cash. We're probably going to trade Yarborough, trade Bautista, trade Soto. We're going to replenish this bullpen this offseason because I don't like the production we got out of a lot of these guys. But the starting rotation, on the other hand, was good. Grayson Rodriguez, 304, 113 whip with 158 strikeouts. Even he deserves a Cy Young over Shohei. I know it's a different division, but still. Kyle Bradish, 328 with a 134 whip for him. Another 343 and a 115 from Braxton Garrett. Landon Knack, Phenomenal season for him, 281 with a 117 whip. That's a good trade piece for us for Cedric Mullins. I really like what he has done so far. And Dean Kramer, 310 with a 108 whip. I was trying to do the pronunciation, didn't want to call him Kramer, and then I called him Den. Whatever. Very good season. Our entire rotation was really, really good this year. We had nobody get sent down, but we did have some injuries. We lost Verdugo with the torn MCL halfway through the season. I didn't mention it because he is like the 9th best guy in the lineup, and I could replace him pretty easily. But still, we did lose Verdugo, which does hurt, and then we lost a couple other players. It's just been a little injury prone in that second half of the season. Still, Ryan Mountcastle, 285, hitting just lefties as a platoon bat was very good. Jacob Stallings, he didn't play much, but at least he got on base, 382 in that minimal appearances. Weston Wilson, 263 in his minimal appearances, and Joey Loperfido, 303 in his minimal appearances. We pretty much just went with our main lineup the entire season. Almost no bench bats besides Mountcastle all year. And what that got us was Luis Arias, the 276 average, 11 home runs, and 173 hits. A little bit down for him. But maybe we'll see a little bit of a better season next year for him. Jordan Westberg, 266 with 25 home runs. I'll come back to Gunnar. 25 home runs and a 263 average for Adley Rutschman. Jackson Holliday hit 273 with 15 home runs, 255 and 22 for Kobe Mayo, 240 and 19 for Kauser, 233 and 22 for Heston Kierstead. And Brian De La Cruz, who we signed for a very, very cheap contract, came in and replaced Verdugo. Actually, a pretty good deal for us. 276 in that season. So we ended up with one, just Kauser missing out, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys with over 20 home runs this season. Almost 6 if Kauser gets that one extra on the season. But the big one that we want to look at is Gunnar Henderson, who is now a 99 overall shortstop. He played 159 games, 201 hits on the season, 42 doubles, 10 triples, 43 home runs, a 122 RBIs. He ended up even stealing 15 bases in the season. Over 1,000 OPS. He ends up with a 382 on base, 319 average, just missing out on the batting title there. He ends up racking up a total of 8.4 WAR at the shortstop position. He did commit 14 errors, but that's okay. I don't care about the defensive rating from him as much if he's going to play this well offensively. Love to see that, and I'm hoping that he can stay this way as he wins the Silver Slugger as well at shortstop. This is good. We have our MVP. We have our core players here, and Adley was still good too. I'm actually curious how much WAR he racked in this season. 5 WAR, not as good as he was last year, because he did drop from almost the 900 to an 822, but still really, really good from Adley. Like, we're in a good shape. If everybody is developing, A potential still, A potential, A potential still, A potential still. Kobe Mayo's now to A potential. That's crazy. Kauser's at B. Kiersted's at B. Luis Arias is at A. Yeah, we are in a really, really good spot. This team is going to continue to perform really, really well. Actually, let's just check if anybody else on our guys are there. Valera go up? No. C potential. Richie Pryor, B potential. Let's go. He was hitting, I checked in September. I considered bringing him up. He was hitting 290 with a 402 on base percentage. So even if he wasn't as good of a rating, playing really, really well at first base, he might be worth bringing up next season. We could consider it. No need to yet, but like, if he's raking like he is in AAA, we're gonna let him keep doing it because he could be a really, really good player for us if so. Anyways, we have a playoff game coming up against the winner of the Yankees and the Texas Rangers for the ALDS. Let me adjust our lineups, and then we'll see what we can do against Texas and New York here in 2026. I forgot I should also check the injured guys just so you can see them. Verdugo was hitting 261 with a 329 on base before he got hurt 69 games into the season with a torn MCL. Dylan Carlson also got injured 56 games into the season. He was playing well as well. 275 with a 351 on base percentage too. So we ended up having really, really good production from these guys before they ended up getting hurt. We are taking on our division rivals, the New York Yankees, here in the first series of the 2026 playoffs. The Yankees are a team that we beat out, and it looks like they beat out the Rangers here, and I'm hoping that our run of great pitching will continue as we start. Grayson Rodriguez versus Max Fried in Game 1, Kyle Bradish versus Luis Eel in Game 2, and Braxton Garrett versus Garrett Cole in Game 3. So, first off, Game 1, Grayson Rodriguez versus Max Fried. We win that one 6-5. Most of the runs must have happened later in that game, but we'll take it. End up getting the production there. Second game here in Baltimore, Kyle Bradish versus Luis Eel. We win that one 10-6. We are going into New York up 2-0. Garrett versus Garrett Cole. We win 3-1, sweeping the New York Yankees. We are taking on the Detroit Tigers here in our second series. We're going to make the pitching rotation because Rodriguez has not pitched now since for a week. We are going to let him go. Though I could just let Knack pitch this second game. I'd be okay with that. I think we'll just try to avoid Kremer pitching if possible, even though Kremer was good. The ALCS is going to be the Baltimore Orioles versus the Detroit Tigers, two teams who recently had first overall picks in Spencer Torkelson and then obviously Jackson Holliday and Adley Rutschman in 2019. We are going to be going Casey Mize, Jackson Jobe, and then Tarek Skubal for this. This is going to be a really good pitching matchup if we can perform here. Grayson Rodriguez versus Casey Mize in Game 1. We win 7-5 here in this first game, getting a bullpen win. Game 2, Landon Knack versus Jackson Jobe. We win 3-2. We are up 2-0 going into Detroit. Bradish versus Skubal. We do lose that one. We lose 2-3. Bradish is not able to hold on. So, it is a 2-1 series for Game 4. Braxton Garrett versus Jack Flaherty. We win that one. We are up 3-1 with Kremer versus Mize in Game 5. We win that, and we are advancing to the World Series to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. I was actually hoping to see the Pirates there, because that would have been really fun. The Pirates were the team that took them 7. Crazy to see that. So, they are going to have the same team here, and we are performing really, really well. We've lost one game so far in the postseason, so do not let this happen here. Game 1, Grayson Rodriguez versus Shohei Ohtani. In the first game of the World Series, we get not really blown out, shut out by Shohei Ohtani, 3-0 loss here in LA. Game 2, Landon Knack versus Blake Snell. We lose 4-5, blowing that one too. We are down 2-0, coming back to Baltimore. Bradish versus Glasnow here in Game 3. We win 7-4. Braxton Garrett versus Roki Sasaki in Game 4. We lose 2-10. We are down 3-1 in Baltimore. We're just going to roll with it unless we can make a Game 7 happen. Kremer versus Shohei Ohtani. We do win. I think we're going to have to jump in to see if we can win the 2026 World Series here against the Dodgers. Grayson Rodriguez versus Yamamoto, and then Landon Knack versus Tyler Glasnow to finish off Game 6 and Game 7 in LA. The Dodgers are 107-55, and we went 99-63. They are outperforming us so far in the postseason, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to take advantage of a really good offensive team. I think they still have Cedric Mullins, by the way. As we are going to be going into this, looks like Westberg's been playing poorly. Mayo, Kauser. We're a very young team, so the fact that we are here is kind of a surprise this early. They are going Yamamoto to start versus us here. Luis Arias gets a single to begin the game. A double from Westberg to get a 1-0 lead. Henderson flies out. A double from Rutschman, but Westberg is not able to get in. We end up with a 1-0 lead there. They are going to have Betts, Hye-Sung Kim, Kyle Tucker, Shohei Ohtani, Will Smith, Cedric Mullins, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, and Max Muncy. So this is still a very, very good team here. We are going to need to be very lucky to beat the powerhouse that is the Dodgers in this series. We take a good start. Brian De La Cruz gets a single. Walk from Luis Arias. Single, another run scores. 2 RBIs so far for Jordan Westberg here. Strikeout from Gunnar. Flyout from Adley. Jackson walks the bases loaded for Kobe Mayo, who hits a grand slam. Kobe Mayo to take a 6-0 lead off of Yamamoto here in the third. That's an insane start from Kobe Mayo. And another home run from Colton Kauser to take a 7-0 lead. Single from Kierstead. Another run scores. We're having a crazy third inning, as Luis Arias strikes out to end it. We are up 8-0 here, and we just need to hold on for the rest of this game. Westberg walks, fly out from Gunnar, pop out there. We just need to hold on. I'll try my best to just kind of chill. Shohei Ohtani hits a 2-run home run to make it 8-2. Double from Cowser. 2-run home run from Kierstead makes it 10-2. Ground out, a walk from Arias, another fielder's choice gets it out of there. Can we make it through? A walk from Mullins, men on first and third for Muncy, who sack flies, and we get out of that one. Top of the 6th, it is 10-3 for us. We get a 3 up, 3 down inning, and so do they. Top 7th, another 3 up, 3 down. Rodriguez, I would like to keep going, but he has lost it here. We're going to make the pitching change. We're going to go to lefty here, I would say. We'll go Soto. Single for Freeman. Single for Muncy. Fielder's choice. Ground out is 10-5. We need to hold on. I'm playing a little bit risky by not trying to go too much to my bullpen. Double. Strikeout. Walk. Fly out. Just please. We're going to make the pitching change here for one batter to Sir Anthony Dominguez for Teoscar Hernandez, who strikes him out to go to the top of the 9th. Solo home run from Adley makes it a 6-run game. Ground out, fly out, walk from Cowser, walk from Kierstead, single, bases loaded for Arias, pop up. We are just going to let Dominguez, I think, keep it out here. Strikeout, walk to Betts, single from Kim, but a ground out forces a Game 7 after Cowser hit a home run to get a player of the game there, but really, that player of the game goes to Kobe Mayo in a grand slam in Game 6 of the World Series to force a Game 7. Game 7 here in LA. We need to decide then if we're going to go with Landon Knack or if I'm going to go with somebody else. In Dodger Stadium, we have Landon Knack or we have Bradish. Really, nobody has of these guys have pitched well. So the question is, Knack or Bradish? I actually think Knack will pitch better than Bradish in this one, but I'd be willing to swap if we need to. We could also go to Braxton Garrett, who I do have a lot of faith in, but they have a lot of righties in their lineup. If I have to switch and we need a lefty, we could go to Garrett. But I'm going to go with Landon Knack, and we're going to let the Dodgers righty defeat the Dodgers, if possible, here in Game 7. It's just more of a storyline than anything. All right, we start Game 7. Luis Arias gets an error to get on to first. A strikeout from Westbrook. 2-run home run from Adley Rutschman. I was like correcting myself from saying Westbrook instead of Westberg. And we get a 2-run from Adley to take the lead. Fielder's choice, fly out, and a fly out to get out of the first there. Kobe Mayo with a single, strikeout from Cowser, fielder's choice from Kierstead, and a fly out there. Landon Knack gets through this one easily. Glasnow versus Luis Arias forces a ground out, and a strikeout. Gunnar has not really shown up so far in this series. Freddie gets a single, fly out from Muncy, stolen base from Freddie Freeman, strikeout from Betts, and a ground out from Kim. Adley up to bat gets a single. Single from Holliday makes it runners on the corners. I think I'm going to have to go for the sac fly, but he does strike out. We'll go for the sac fly again. He strikes out. We get a walk from Kierstead. I'm just going to have to go for it. Bases loaded for Luis Arias. They make a pitching change to River Ryan. Luis Arias hits a grand slam. Oh my God. They switched to the pitcher. That's a mistake. Luis Arias hits a grand slam in Game 7 of the World Series. What is this? A home run from Westberg. They have come back with a Luis Arias grand slam. What world is this? I'm in shock. De La Cruz the single. I'm going to probably make a pitching change here if Landon Knack is not pitching just a gem so far. They're going to Tyler Rogers. We are just, I guess I'm going to stick with Knack. He's still pitching a gem. Top of the 8th. We are up 8-0 going to the bottom of the 8th. All right, he gives it up. We are going to make the pitching change. Going to Keegan Aiken here. Fly out, and that gets us out of that one. It is 8-1 at the top of the 9th. Kierstead versus Matten line out. And we are going to go to the bottom of the 9th with this. I think I'll make the pitching change to Bautista. Double from Ohtani. Strikeout from Smith. Single from Mullins. Pop up. We are going to enter the game, and we are going to watch here as the Baltimore Orioles are going to turn this team around in 1 year to 2026. And we are going to have Freddie Freeman on the mound against Felix Bautista here. We're up 8-1, runners in the corners, bottom of the ninth. Can Bautista end it? Please just rake up your trade value for me, because I'm not keeping it after this. As we have here 8-1. Bautista throws the first pitch outside and misses. Second pitch, low in, fouled off by Freddie Freeman. I think the Luis Arias home run has thrown me off because it's Luis Arias. But all right, with a pitch, the slider up high, misses. 2-1 count for Freddie Freeman here. Freeman has played well in this postseason. Honestly, they all have, and we have just gotten insanely lucky with 2 grand slams in Game 6 and Game 7. He takes the pitch on the outside, making it 3-1 count for Freddie here. Max Muncy is on deck if Bautista is unable to get Freeman out. Swing and a miss right down the middle in the four-seam fastball. Makes it a full count here in Game 7 in the bottom of the ninth for Freddie Freeman versus Felix Bautista with the pitch. Swing and a miss. Felix Bautista strikes out Freddie Freeman, and the Baltimore Orioles are your 2026 World Series champions. We have done it in 1 season. Flipped this team and turned it into a World Series contender and champion this quickly. And we have everybody under contract for at least 6 to 7 more years. We are not even near the top of what this team could be. We're like the Oklahoma City Thunder of baseball right now. This is what they should have done. This is what they should be. And I want to say this is not even close to the end of what this team is, because Colton Cowser jumps up. We've got the MVP from Gunnar. Everybody's celebrating. This team is still extremely young with a lot of potential for growth. We haven't seen some players really perform yet, but we've done it. The Orioles win it here in 2026. And the question becomes, what can we do to make this from a one-off World Series champion into a dynasty of this young core, which I hope to see happen very soon here. Let's go into the offseason and let's do it and see if we can rebuild this team to be not just a World Series champion, but a dynasty. World Series MVP goes to Adley Rutschman, and our postseason playoff MVP goes to Gunnar Henderson. The 2 big parts of the core. The 2019 draft, essentially, for the Orioles ends up getting the 2 awards. As we've done it on the other side, Freddie Freeman was the postseason MVP for the Dodgers. And winning the World Series means we should have some extra cash, too. So if we needed to spend money, we might actually be able to. That's why I want to get rid of Bautista, because he's going to cost me like $15 to $16 million in arbitration next year, and I don't think he's worth that. So let's see what we can do this upcoming season. We have defeated the Dodgers after they went to their 3rd straight World Series, and hopefully what we can do is maintain this top of the AL and make sure the Dodgers don't win another one. I went after Freddie, I went after Flaherty, and really the first thing that I could make a move for was to go get another reliever, Evan Phillips, who I think could be good for the next 3 years. 3 years, $25 million technically. And that'll be a good bullpen arm, especially if I get rid of Bautista. Really? I lowballed the hell out of this offer, and we got him. Okay. We have an actual ace, then, I guess, technically. We have Grayson Rodriguez. That means when we lose Bradish in what's going to happen, because we are going to lose him, we at least have somebody locked down long-term to be a number 2 pitcher until we have, I guess, Knack or something like that to be able to perform in the 3rd or 4th slot. And so, coming up to defend our World Series title, we have made some changes to the roster, but mostly kept it the same. Mainly because we have a lot of more money to spend, and I was able to make some moves. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't make the Bautista trade, and I'll show you just why. So it's safe to say Bautista was just bad last year. Like, he wasn't very good. That 4.5 ERA meant that he was really not getting me any real trade value. The only deal that I could do that I think would be beneficial to us was like Andres Munoz of the Mariners or Matt Brash of the Mariners. And if we're just swapping closers, then what's really the point? I'm thinking what I could do was like, hey, maybe we'll just lowball him in arbitration, and that worked out. So we did get him under $10 million. I'll take that for this year. I'm not signing him to an extension. If we're not good and if he's not good, I'm trading him at the deadline. But really, I think he was fine enough, which I'd rather keep him if possible because he was still good. It's just not, what you wanted to see. I really wish that he was better. So our bullpen is completely different. Brant Herter, Brian Hoeing, we still have Yanier Cano, Robert Garcia, Evan Phillips now in here. Basically, I also have Kyler Montero. I have Bo Brisky down here as well, I want to say. Or did he... Where is he? Is he in Double-A? He's in Double-A. Essentially made a bunch of trades. Moved a bunch of contracts off the books. Traded a bunch of guys and, combined prospects plus good players to other teams. Essentially to try to rebuild this bullpen much cheaper, just knowing that I wanted a better bullpen. I also got Brian Hoeing off of Rule 5. And we signed Brady Singer to a pretty good deal of a contract, $15 million per year on this deal. Kyle Bradish is also on $2.3 million this year, which is really nice to see. He'll have one more year on this deal before I believe that he will probably be gone, because I don't necessarily think he's going to be worth the money he's going to ask for. And so, looking at our rotation, it's pretty much the same. And lineup-wise, I wasn't really able to make any moves either. I just brought back Dylan Carlson. I wanted to go after some guys, but there just wasn't really anything that made a lot of sense for us to do. I was kind of trying to fulfill that outfield. But any contracts I offered just kind of got, they just got matched. And I spent a lot of time in free agency this offseason seeing if I could spend the money that we had, because we actually did have a lot of money to spend. I just wasn't able to do so. So we are going to be going into this season actually under budget, which is nice. And that means we're going to be in a good position to buy if we have to at the deadline, or just let our prospects come up. I mean, when we take a look at our top prospects, we have Darryl Durbin is the #1 prospect in all of baseball. But we have guys like Richie Pryor, who could be up very soon here. We could bring him up. There's also Vance Honeycutt, who isn't really close, but George Valera could come up, and Enrique Bradfield. Ooh, he's C potential now. Could come up. I also saw we have Moises Ballesteros, who I signed, who dropped in potential, so I was able to sign him, who could come up to as a backup catcher. A lot of guys that I think we're going to be in a good spot to do, and we have a good farm system of starting pitchers now to replenish the pitching rotation once everybody gets too expensive. But really, what we have to do is we have to go to try to repeat. To create a dynasty, you need to win, I think, 3 World Series. So let's go win 3 World Series. We got 1 down in 2026. Let's make it another. Coming into this draft, I'm thinking what we're going to be able to do is actually get a lot of guys where we can get the late starting pitchers. We can actually get a lot of depth in this draft as long as the players that I like are still available. And what that is going to depend on is essentially if other teams have scouted them. Now, the top guy I have on my board is not Greg Gein, though he is the #1 Oriole technically on our board. The reason for that is there are so many good starting pitchers in this draft. Do I waste the first round pick, which is going to be pick 30, because we did win the World Series, on a starting pitcher? And a lot of that is dependent on what other guys are available. I have 3 players, and Guillermo Perez is my preference of all of them as the top end talent. He is really, really good, and I think he is going to be phenomenal as a starting catcher. Do we need him because we have Adley? No, but when you look at talent like this, it doesn't matter. We're looking at DHs at this point, and that bat is phenomenal. Another one with the same thing is JJ Loftus. Is he ever going to play third base for us? No, but he could play right field. And once again, really good bat, good vision, like what he can bring to the table. And the last really good bat that I see here is Pedro Olivo, another first baseman with a decent looking bat and decent potential. Now he could be not good, similar to what we had in our first draft, but I still think that there is some talent here and he could be a player I would take. If none of them are available, we probably just take Greg Geen. Well, Greg Geen is not actually available. He got taken pick 8 by the Toronto Blue Jays. Was the top guy on our board. He ends up going before I can take him. So what we're stuck with is essentially, I mean, we get to take a guy who I like. I also do like Sonny Tillman here, but we're going to take Pedro Olivo. I think he doesn't have as high of a ceiling as some of the other guys, but it's him or Sonny Tillman essentially, because all the other pitchers on my board I think will still be available down the board. So Pedro Olivo, welcome to Baltimore. Now, this season isn't off to as hot of a start as we were last year. In fact, we're not actually playing that well at all. We are 53 and 43. Now, offensively, we've been pretty good, but our pitching staff has not, and we are losing a lot of close games because we should be closer. Just looking at, I mean, just these numbers alone, we should be right even with the Red Sox, just based on Pythagorean win-loss. But we seem to be losing a lot of games late, and it's giving us a lot of struggle. We're pretty much underperforming our record. Though we are still in the wild card race, leading that, even though it's an extremely close race at that. The hope is that in the second half we can be a little bit more back to the mean and return to what we should be doing. Now, when it comes to All-Stars, once again, we have 2 starters. Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson are both going to be starters. Kyle Bradish is also an All-Star, 2.15 ERA for him. Very, very good so far. We also see Cody Bradford here. For him, 2.15 with a 1.13. Our bullpen has not been that great, though. We have not seen any real performance from any of our guys. Thankfully, none of the guys I got rid of are also performing either, so I don't feel guilty about it. Adley is hitting .302 with 14 home runs so far this season, with another starting spot in the American League. He's a 98 overall right now. The next All-Star that we have is going to be Gunnar Henderson, who has 25 home runs, 75 RBIs, and is hitting .325 on the season. Looking for back-to-back MVPs is what he's hoping he can get this season. Otherwise, when it comes to it, we don't have anybody else in the race. Kobe Mayo did get hurt and missed the first 2 months of the season. And honestly, we have been underperforming so far. So I'm hoping that we can kind of return to the mean, play well at the end of the season in the second half, and make moves to essentially get closer to contend for a back-to-back World Series run. One thing I will note, and I'm going to show you essentially where our bullpen is at. Bautista lost the closing spot because he was pitching terribly, and our whole bullpen has not been very good so far this year. I'm going to trade Bautista. And so I looked around the National League, because I'm not trading him in conference or in league. We really had not many options of teams that didn't have good bullpen arms already. And so the Pittsburgh Pirates were my number 1 choice. They are currently in second place in the NL Central, and therefore in the wild card race as well. And their closer is Peter Strzelecki. Strzelecki? I don't know how to pronounce his name. But when it comes down to it, or Jose Alvarado as well. I found a prospect I liked, a left fielder named Pedro Tavares, their first round pick from last year, who I missed out on. I don't remember. I don't even think I had him on my board at any point. And I like his stats. I like what he can become. We're going to overpay. We're going to give him Valera. We're going to give him Nick Berger and Felix Bautista to make this deal work. We're going to need to improve our bullpen in the future, but I think this is okay because he is not pitching well, and I don't really have faith in him improving for the second half of this season. The other move we're going to make, because I want him out of the bullpen, is going to be Tyler Wells and Hudson Haskin. 2 guys I really don't want to play anymore. I think they can go, and they can still perform. They can still be good for other teams. I just don't want them really anymore on mine. We're going to get a pitching prospect in Willis Bird, as well as Tristan Beck, who could come up to the bullpen right now. He's pitching really well in AAA, and I could bring him up, or I could just leave him in AAA and maybe save him for September. Another draft and another kind of just series of misses and not really that interesting of players. Pedro Olivo is okay. 77 potential, 72 overall. He's got a good bat, good all-around player already. He'll be good, but he won't be great. And necessarily, I mean, that's not... it's okay. He'll be a replacement level player, which is okay for us to have. It just sucks to use on a first-round pick. Jeremy Harper was ranked 12th. And I recruited them for all 7 weeks. So he is full, maxed out scouting. This is the 12th ranked player in the class. Just doesn't seem like it. I mean, 81 potential, 65 overall. He should be okay, but that's not 12th ranked potential. George Lang is better. 88 potential, at least 61 overall. Guzman was better. Cortez was really not. I mean, that's nothing. Corey Odom, reliever, But look at this random guy I just found. Kirby Yamazaki. 98 potential, 52 overall, third baseman. I do want to check some of the other guys, but I wonder if I'm just running into bad classes, but it's also, we are Baltimore and we have been competitive, so we do not have like the number 1 overall pick. Greg Ginn definitely was the best player in this class if I can find it. 94 potential, 60 overall with good hits per 9 and good walks per 9. This is a Cy Young. This is a Cy Young pitcher right here. An ace. Crazy that he was pick 8 when he was supposed to be 82. Yeah, we would have taken him, I think, at that spot. I probably would have taken him over Olivo, honestly. So, can't do anything about a team drafting him before you. And here's Guillermo Perez, who was my number 1 guy on my board. And yeah, very, very good catcher. Already a 75 overall, 85 potential. Not necessarily going to be a superstar, but will be a very serviceable catcher. There were some really good pitchers in this class, and there were some good guys that I saw that we couldn't have gotten who were first rounds, or like 95 plus potential guys late that were 50 some overalls, but nothing that I really could have gotten knowing that we had pick 30. So we did okay. Could have done better. Not only have we turned this season around from where we were sitting at, we are way above the pace that we were at a couple months ago. And part of that is due to us being on a 14-game winning streak going into the month of September. We are up 83-55, leading our division now, and in a pretty good spot to hold on to the rest of the AL. Over the last month, if you can see here, we have been on a run since the series in Boston. We have won every game since this day off. And part of that is going to lead into it. And actually right here was where we did a lot of that too. Essentially, since we traded Felix Bautista, we have been a considerably better baseball team. And that means I'm in a really good position, I think, for us to win this division and make an even longer run. The other thing is that Gunnar Henderson is once again leading the MVP race with 39 home runs, hitting .319. Kyle Bradish is in the Cy Young race, and Gunnar Henderson not only is leading this, is in the Triple Crown race as well, which I would love to see Gunnar be able to do for us. That means that we could really cement him as a superstar here in Baltimore, which he already is as an MVP, but a Triple Crown is another level. First off, I do want to see, I've already called up some guys. I actually called up Richie Pryor, who we drafted in 2025. He will come up this year and play, because why not? Might as well bring him up in September. He's hitting 300 again in AAA. We are at 14 wins. Can we make it longer than that? 15. 15 wins before we lose. Not a bad streak to kind of put us in position to win our division and maybe get another bye. 98-64, we win our division, and we will be taking on the winner of the wild card playoff game. Not 100 wins, but that's a really good turnaround for a team that started off below 500 for the first couple months. 5 awards for us. It starts with a Gold Glove for Colton Cowser, a Hank Aaron from Gunnar, an MVP from Gunnar, a batting title from Gunnar. That's a Triple Crown for Gunnar Henderson, racking up a better season in 2027 than he did in 2026. He hits .327 with 53 home runs and 157 RBIs, beating out Josh Naylor and Aaron Judge. When it comes to the Cy Young, Garrett Crochet wins it, though I would say that's Kyle Bradish's award. We should have got both. Their batting title beats out Kwan by .01. 1 point he beats out Stephen Kwan by, hitting .327. Austin Hayes was third in that race. When it comes to the NL side, Shohei Ohtani wins the MVP, hitting 288 for 41 home runs at 132 RBIs, and the Cy Young goes to Shane Bieber, now with the Milwaukee Brewers with a 2.11 ERA. They rebounded from their terrible Shohei pick to pick the rightful Cy Young. Shane Bieber put in together a phenomenal season. Kyle Bradish did lead the way in ERA with a 2.48 in the AL, but the big one we got to look at is all the Gunnar Henderson numbers. 53 home runs, 58 doubles, 157 RBIs, batting average of 327, 204 hits. Luis Arias did have the most walks, so he doesn't get everything. Batting title, Gunnar Henderson at 327, beating out Stephen Kwan by 1 point. Hits 204, beating out Stephen Kwan by 4 hits on the season. That's really, really good for him. I saw he led in doubles with 58 doubles. And he had 53 home runs, a 50-50 season from Gunnar Henderson with 157 RBIs. That's a crazy Triple Crown year from Gunnar. The saves leader was Mason Miller with 53 saves for the A's, leading the way there. ERA, as we said, was Kyle Bradish, who probably should have won the Cy Young this past year. Strikeout leader Garrett Crochet. Those K's got him the award. On the NL side, Kyle Tucker leads the way with a 321 average, getting the batting title in the NL. Did he have it last year as well? He did. Back-to-back batting titles for Kyle Tucker of the Dodgers. Hits leader Bo Bichette with 202 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And your home run leader was Kyle Schwarber with 49 for the Atlanta Braves. Saves leader in the NL was Jeremiah Estrada of the Padres with 51 saves. I looked at trading for him because he was so good this season. But ERA leader Shane Bieber, 2.11, and his Cy Young gets his second Cy Young of his career. Strikeout leader Blake Snell, 204 for the Dodgers. He didn't get many shots, but in the 2 innings, he gave up no runs. Tristan Beck got sent down, and Bo Brisky also got sent down in 17 innings with a 1.56 ERA and 0.69 whip. I'm going to bring him right back up for the postseason because that's a really, really good year to only give up 3 runs in the entire season. And that, I think that's it for the guys that got sent down. Dean Kremer ends up putting together a better season. He puts it together 369 with a 117 whip for him. Brant Herter with a 266-11 whip, 295 and a 102 for Brian Hoeing, who I signed to an extension. Yenier Cano with a 304 and a 106 whip. Robert Garcia was our worst reliever here. Kind of wish I didn't trade for him. But we still have him for a couple more years. Maybe we'll get him for a cheaper arbitration deal here. 427-136 whip. And Evan Phillips, our free agent signing to replace Bautista. 375-109 whip with a grand total of 27 saves after he took the closing spot from Bautista. Grayson Rodriguez, 294 with a 116 whip. Really good season for him. You have Brady Singer with a 394. One of the worst pitchers in our rotation because Kyle Bradish led the way with a 248. Landon Knack, 382, not as good for him. And then Braxton Garrett with a 338 ERA. Really, really good rotation for us. Richie Pryor got 0 at-bats in September after being called up, but part of that is due to having Luis Arias. It's kind of hard to not have Arias play. We had Austin Martin hit 125, not great. Brian De La Cruz and his platoon efforts hit 256 on the season in 101 games. That's pretty good. Dylan Carlson, 231 and 78 at-bats, not bad. Weston Wilson, who played all season against the lefties. I originally wasn't going to have him play, but after Kobe Mayo got hurt, he came in and you just couldn't really get rid of him. He just kept the spot the whole time. Ended up hitting pretty well, 277 against lefties all season. Luis Arias, 286. I did see his potential drop down to B. About 180 hits on the season, 393 OBP. That's closer to what we wanted. He had a bad year last year. He normally does this, by the way, every other season. So that's just him. Jordan Westburg, 255 with 22 home runs. We saw Gunnar. We'll come back and look at it. Adley hit 297 with 31 home runs on 111 RBIs. 257 and 20 for Jackson Holliday. 236 with 12 for Kobe Mayo. 242 with 21 for Colton Cowser. 241 and 19 for Heston Kierstead and Verdugo. 214. Very bad season for him this year. Kobe Mayo, obviously the 12 home runs, only in 88 games, was pretty good. I do want to look because it looks like Adley also played really well. We have 299s in the center of our lineup right now, which is something that Orioles fans should hope that they do. First, when I look at Adley, 162 games because I don't have a backup catcher, and I'm going to avoid bringing up a backup catcher because it means Adley stays out there. I know it might make him regress faster. I really hope it doesn't because he has been phenomenal, and look at that 99 durability. He shouldn't regress. 182 hits in the season, 31 home runs, 915 OPS, and he ends up with 8.9 WAR at the catcher position. Really love to see that. He does get a silver slug. No, he doesn't get a silver slugger. That's not a silver slugger this year for him. Gunnar Henderson, though, is the actual MVP. 160 games in the season, 204 hits, 58 doubles, 53 home runs, 157 RBIs, walked 86 times for a 327 average, 411 OBP, 698 slugging, 1100 OPS, and a grand total of 10.8 WAR on the season as he racks up a triple crown here in 2027. Fantastic year. He's 25 and has 2 MVPs and a World Series. He's already better than Derek Jeter. I said it. He's better than Derek Jeter. He is phenomenal, and I'm hoping that what he'll be able to do is lead us to the promised land. We are the 2 seed. We will be taking on the winner of Seattle and Sacramento. They're still not in Vegas. The Athletics, with our hope to repeat as World Series champions in 2027. Usually what happens when I have a fantastic pitching staff is everything falls apart once we get to the playoffs, and I hope we don't see that here as we play the A's in our ALDS, our first round of our playoffs. Rodriguez versus Osvaldo Bido in Game 1. Kyle Bradish versus Johan Oviedo in Game 2, and Brady Singer versus Joey Estes in Game 3. Crazy, this is the A's pitching staff we're going to see here in the playoffs. I mean, I guess they did just play a series against Seattle. But Game 1, Rodriguez versus Bido, we win 5-0. Rodriguez with a shutout in 7 innings. Only 3 strikeouts over the 7 innings. Bradish versus JP Sears in Game 2 is an 8-3 victory. Fantastic game from Bradish. We are going to go into Sacramento with a 2-0 lead. Can we take it in 3? We can. We are advancing with a sweep. It looks like it was a bullpen game. We get it. Mason Miller loses that game. And we are advancing to the ALCS where we are playing the Minnesota Twins, a team with a fantastic pitching staff. This is probably the top 2 pitching staffs in the major leagues. Back to back. I mean, I guess besides the Dodgers, who are also there. So we are going to be playing the Twins, who were better than us this season. Landon Knack is going to start off. Actually, let's fix this. We're going to go back to Rodriguez. I like the idea. This worked for us last year. We're going to do it again. That'll be our weak spot, Landon Knack. All right. Game 1, Rodriguez versus David Festa. We lose 0-4, nothing really there. Rodriguez lasts 5 innings, not enough. Bradish in Game 2 here in Minnesota versus Joe Ryan. We win that one 3-2, getting the victory in the low-scoring game, taking a game off of them in Minnesota. Now we just got to win 3 straight in Baltimore to win it. Singer versus Lopez. We win that one. It is a 2-1 series. Garrett versus Bailey Ober in Game 4. We win that. We are up 3-1. Landon Knack versus David Festa in Game 5. We win all 3 games in Baltimore and are advancing to the back-to-back World Series to take on the Dodgers again, who are now in their 4th straight World Series. Same situation as last year. We had a sweep in the ALDS and we lost 1 game in the ALCS. And did they go 7? They did. They went 7 in the NLCS. We're repeating the script. Please let's not fall down 3-1 though this time. Game 1 is going to be Rodriguez versus Sasaki, Bradish versus Snell in Game 2, and Singer versus Ohtani in Game 3. I would like a less stressful game for the repeat, but the Dodgers are the Dodgers. Grayson Rodriguez versus Roki Sasaki. We win Game 1 in a close one, 9-8. Game 2 here in Baltimore, Bradish versus Blake Snell. We win 4-3. We are up 2-0 going into LA. If we take one off of them, I'm going to feel way safer. Having a 3-1 lead, we just need to win one of these for me to feel very content. Singer versus Shohei Ohtani in LA. We win that one. It is a 3-0 lead. Garrett versus Sasaki. We lose that one. Knack versus Glasnow. We lose that one. We just need to win one of these two games. Let's jump in. Rodriguez versus Ohtani in Game 6. As the Dodgers try to do what we did to them and come back. We came back 3-1. They're trying to come back 3-0. Let's make sure that doesn't happen here in Baltimore. This year, we're the better team, having the home field advantage, and we've been playing better in the postseason. I guess they've had better bats. But in our rematch, the hope is that we can just take this out in Game 6. Last season, we had 2 grand slams in order to be able to win those in LA. I'd like less theatrics, but, you know, that was very nice to be able to have that big of a lead. Arias is hitting .415 so far this postseason. Gunnar is down to .229, so he hasn't been hitting great, and Cowser is pretty weak so far. But against Ohtani, I'm pretty hopeful we can do well. They have, looks like the same roster. They just have Jake Berger replacing Freddie Freeman, and I don't know who that guy is. Batten in the last slot, replacing Max Muncy. Never heard of him. All right, so let's get into it. Rodriguez is going to start off the game. Ground out, and another pop-up to get through that one. Double from Westberg gets Gunnar up. Gunnar strikes out. Ground out there. Rodriguez takes the first inning and makes it into the second without a hit yet. Holliday versus Ohtani, strikeout, ground out, and a flyout. In the third, solo home run from Teoscar Hernandez gives the Dodgers a lead here in Game 6. A walk from Mookie Betts. It is a 1-0 game as we go to the bottom of the third. Kierstead gets a walk with a strikeout from Verdugo, strikeout from Arias, and a strikeout. Ohtani is pitching a gem here to start this off. Man on first and second for Cedric Mullins. He strikes out, and a fielder's choice gets us out of that one. Bottom of the fourth. Gunnar strikes out. Walk from Adley. Fielder's choice means it is now Jackson Holliday on first. Kobe Mayo pops up to get out of that one. Fly out, pop out, ground out. This is a pitcher's duel. Colton Cowser gets the single to get onto first. Strikeout from Kierstead. Verdugo, fielder's choice. 2 outs for Luis Arias, who strikes out. I made the comment about his batting average. Did not help. Ground out, pop up, and a strikeout in this pitcher's duel. Westberg versus Ohtani. Strikeout. Single from Gunnar gets him on to first. Adley gets an error. We have men on first and second for Jackson Holliday, who gets a single. Bases loaded for Kobe Mayo. I'm going to have to go for the sac fly. We get the sac fly to tie the game 1-1. And a strikeout. It is a pitcher's duel, but it is tied. Rodriguez, fly out, strikeout. Ohtani against Kierstead here in the bottom of the 7th. They are switching to AJ Minter. I'll make the pitching change after this as well. Ground out for Kierstead, pop up for Verdugo, and nothing there. We are going to make the pitching change ourselves. So I think I'm going to go to Brian Hoeing. No, we're going to go to Yennier Cano here in the top of the 8th against Jake Berger. Strikeout, double for Mookie Betts, but a flyout from Kim, bottom of the 8th against AJ Minter. There's actually switching to Brian Abreu here. It is 1-1. Westberg with a ground out, Gunnar with a ground out, Adley with a strikeout. We're going to make the pitching change again. I'm going to go to a lefty here. I guess we can go to Herter for Kyle Tucker. It's ground out. Single for Ohtani. Fielder's choice has Will Smith on first in the top of the 9th, and a ground out. We have Jackson Holliday up to bat against Tanner Scott. Ground out. Single from Kobe Mayo means we might have a run here. Can we get it? I'm going to enter the game just in case we get to see it happen. This could be a strikeout. This could be nothing. But we've got a man on in a tie game in the bottom of the 9th of Game 6 of the World Series. Let's make the change and see if Colton Cowser can lead us to the promised land here against Tanner Scott. Now, this is a lefty pitching staff, and we are not a team built for lefties. So can we do it? Slider, outside and low. That's going to get by for a first strike here in the bottom of the 9th. Now, we do have another game if we do lose this one, but I like how close this is. There's a good shot. Ball is fouled off. The Orioles fans are waving the towels, ready for hopefully back-to-back, and they want to see it here in Game 6, not Game 7. With the pitch, he takes the ball low, bounces off Will Smith. 1-2 count. I don't even see. Did no advance for Coby Mayo. 1-2 count for Colton Cowser here against Tanner Scott with the pitch. He swings and he misses at the slider, low and outside. That's going to leave it to Heston Kierstead here in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. No rally unless Kierstead can get a big hit. He's hitting 220. He hasn't been that great this season. He takes the 4-seam fastball right down the middle and doesn't swing at it. So with the pitch, 0-1 count, ball up and inside, doesn't get by, so no strike there. Ken Kierstead, I just want to see it. Kierstead, give me a hit. You haven't really done much for us yet. Ooh, paints the inside. Didn't look like a strike to me, but we got away with that last season, so I'm okay with it, I guess. Kierstead versus Tanner Scott here, 1-2 count for the second straight batter. Ken Kierstead come in clutch and hit in Coby Mayo in this game. He swings it, pops it foul. 4-seam fastball does not get by. 1-2 count here for Kierstead with another pitch. He swings. He hits that one hard. It's deep. Is it going to get over his head? It gets over his head. He misses. He does not catch it. Is Coby Mayo going to make it around? Goes over to Cedric Mullins. He throws it to first. Baltimore wins. The ball goes over Kyle Tucker's head. And Heston Kierstead is your the clutch gene coming out of nowhere. No way did I expect that to happen. Kierstead gets it just over Tucker's head on the last pitch of Game 6 of the World Series. The RBI likely double gets him a World Series champion as Baltimore have won 2 straight. Coby Mayo's not fast, by the way, so he needed to get that to land where it did. And Kyle Tucker, the $260 million right fielder, was unable to catch the ball. Cedric Mullins couldn't throw him out. Baltimore wins back-to-back World Series. The Dodgers have lost 3 in a row, and we keep it. Oh, they're going to show me show me the replay. Oh, they started the replay and they didn't show it. They just showed Coby Mayo running past as they were jumping and celebrating. Oh, I want to see that replay. Might have to go look at it too, because this is awesome. I can't believe we pulled that off with that game right there. I'm glad I jumped in, because that's a great way to end it. We normally don't get to see us end on an actual RBI hit there, as we are now 2-time World Series champions in 2026 and 2027. The dynasty has begun. We have 2 on the trophy rack. Can we make it a 3rd? I don't know if we'll be able to win 3 in a row, but I can be hopeful, as we now have our 5th World Series championship in total. There we are. I want to see this replay. It was all down to Kierstead, and right here, he took that pitch, hit it up. That ball flew over Tucker's head. Kierstead rounded first. He got to second. He waited and rounded it. Would have got a triple, but Coby Mayo ran in as we got it. That is going to be a World Series title on a walk-off hit from Heston Kierstead. Your World Series MVP was Luis Arias, who hit phenomenal in the postseason. And your playoff MVP also Luis Arias, who hit 360 in the World Series and 415 in the postseason. We end up winning it. Kyle Tucker ends up getting it on the other side. The Dodgers made it 4 times in a row. We're going to make sure we win more titles than them, because this has been a great run thus far. And that's 2 down. I need at least 1 more. I didn't really intend on making a lot of moves, but we're going to go big. The outfield, I think, is the one place we have a gap at. And if we're contending now, and our window is now, you have to spend the money now. And so Stephen Kwan, we're paying big time to come in and be our center fielder. That means Enrique Bradfield's not really going to play. And I might trade Verdugo, because I don't think I'm going to pay $11 million to a backup outfielder. But that means that in the outfield, we've got Kierstead on one side, Cowser on the other, and Kwan in the middle. I'll take that as an outfield with another bat that just gets on base. And this team is complete. It is complete. And so I looked around for teams that were in need of outfielders, and it's the St. Louis Cardinals who are going to be getting Verdugo from us. That's going to shed a little bit of cash and save us a little bit of room to grow for arbitration. And I'm going to get 2 relief prospects who aren't going to play for us probably ever, but maybe they will. I think it's safe to say this is the most expensive team I've ever put together. $285 million budget as we attempt to three-peat this upcoming season with one of the best rosters ever put together. 2 years in a row where we've won the division, we've won and got the bye, and we've made it to the World Series and beat the Dodgers. The question is, can we do it 3 times in a row? The thing we're going to skimp on this season is our pitching staff, and one of the reasons for that is because I think it's finally time to give Mick Abel a chance to pitch and Cade Povich a chance to pitch, 2 of our prospects that I think are both very good pitchers and should be able to give a good shot at winning some games this year and being productive. In addition, our bullpen is pretty cheap. On top of this, we are rolling with a very, very cheap team, knowing that we also have a bunch of pitchers that are coming up that need to be playing soon as well. With this in mind, the big part of where our spending is within our lineup, where we now have one of the best, just all-around offensive teams ever seen, ever assembled. Luis Arias and Steven Kwan at the top of the lineup in order to be able to get on base, to be able to be hit in by Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Jackson Holliday, Jordan Westberg, Kobe Mayo, Heston Kierstead, and Colton Cowser. We have Richie Pryor up because he's going to hit against lefties in the lineup instead of Weston Wilson. I just think Wilson is 33, and while he's cheap, I want Pryor to be able to develop against lefties. He's going to do that. And Carlson and De La Cruz will operate as they have. Cheap contract here and a good lefty bat so far for us in our seasons, and I like this. This is the team. This is a 110 win roster. Can we get 110 wins as we attempt to really just lean into this? This is a roster that should, if anything, should be one of the best teams ever assembled. Can we three-peat? We'll see. This is probably the last draft we are going to show, simply because we have pretty much everybody under contract, and we now have so many starting pitchers in the pool of guys that could possibly come up that I think our roster is pretty much set. And our core is as well until it gets too expensive, which it's too expensive. So the number 1 guy on my board is Derek Hanley. He was actually ranked 5th on our board, ranked 39th in the Major League. I don't know if he'll be available for us at pick 30, but it's probably the last shortstop I'll be able to get. And he looks really, really good. Best position player that I saw, besides maybe Milt Nakamura. Now, that's with the caveat of he's really good in the field with his speed and his stealing. Not as much so with the bat. So, could just be a guy. We do have 2 first-round picks. Maybe I take both of them. Who knows? We did find that top pitcher was really, really good. Sammy Marquez. He'll go number 1, but yeah. So maybe we'll get some pitchers later in the back half of this, but I doubt it. It's not a really good class. Hanley went all the way up at pick 5, where we had him on our board. So not going to be able to get him. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to take then Milt Nakamura. I should double check to make sure there's no other guys on the entire board that I missed that I wasn't able to get here. I didn't scout this guy, Starnes. I didn't scout Bliss. I didn't scout Oliveros. Yeah, we'll just take Nakamura, I guess, and maybe we'll take the closer with the other pick and just roll with that for our top guys. 64 and 33 at the All-Star break. We have been a little bit cold here at the back half of this, but we are still one of the best teams, and just look at our division to show how much better we are offensively than pretty much everybody else in the league. I would guess the only other team that might be near us is going to be the Dodgers, which is true. And so we're pretty much in a battle between us and them for a chance to see them for a 3rd year in a row. Which I would expect it. Honestly, this is just kind of how things are going. This is what our team looks like. And yeah, All-Stars, we have 3 starters in the this year: Gunnar, Grayson Rodriguez, and Adley Rutschman. Grayson Rodriguez, 2.52 ERA, 0.94 WHIP, leading the way for us in the AL and as a starter, so that's nice. Any other bullpen guys that we have? Nope, none of the other guys in the bullpen are going to be there. Adley Rutschman is hitting over 300 right now this year, 20 home runs. William Contreras is now on the Tigers, so he will have a battle for a potential Silver Slugger. I don't think he'll get it. When it comes to the rest, let's see. Jordan Westberg makes his first All-Star game. 272 and 12 home runs at third base. Shortstop Gunnar, oh my God. He is 100 RBIs already at this point in the season. 38 home runs, 11 stolen bases. He's hitting 378 in 381 at-bats. I'm glad he plays almost every game because this is what the benefit of having Steven Kwan and Luis Arias hitting before him is. 2 guys are always on base, so he gets a lot of opportunities to hit the guys in and get a ton of RBIs. Left field, Steven Kwan is an all-star, hitting 310 for us right now with 16 home runs of his own, and that's about it. But yeah, that's a lot of all-stars for our offense, as we are... I don't know if we'll get to 110, but we're winning 100 at least. So what's crazy about this draft is we took Nakamura. Both the closers were off the board by 2 picks later, because we had pick 30 and pick 34. 2 picks later, 2 closers go, bang, bang. Then so I was like, okay, I guess I'll take Escobar, who's the closest non-ranked guy I have left on my board. Good pick, 89 potential. By the time we get to our next pick, every player on the board is gone. I had 6 non-ranked pitchers on the board, all of them gone. So, I had no players left on the board. These are all just random swings. Archer O'Brien, 87 potential. Nah. Joey Kutch, not good. Antonio Aquino, not good. Blanton was terrible. So just taking random swings, I at least hit one. That's okay. The White Sox were able to get a generational talent in Luca Lorenz at first base. This is the first one we've seen so far in this rebuild. Good for the White Sox to get him. Obviously, I'll take World Series over top prospects, though. But this is not a generational talent. These are one of these more, what I like to call, I feel like he's just short of it, the God prospect, that like 85 plus overall, 90 plus potential. He was an 84 overall, 90 plus potential. He did go at pick 2, so no chance of getting him. But we'll have to watch for Lonnie Fedor if he ends up being a god like we've seen from some of the guys who have done this before. We are 92 and 48 as we enter the month of September. And yes, we have a team average of 290. We are leading the Yankees by over 180 runs scored. Our offense is unbelievable this season. The only team that rivals it is exactly what you'd think. It's the Dodgers. But their pitching staff is way worse than ours. If we lose this season, fire me. Like, oh my God, fire the manager, I guess, actually. Don't fire me. I built a God squad. So fire the manager. This team is phenomenal. Gunnar's going to get his 3rd straight MVP, no doubt. And the question is just what numbers is he going to end up putting up, because this is just a phenomenal offensive team. There's the 100-win season, 107 and 55. We have won our division and we'll be taking on the winner of the wild card playoff game. I'm actually curious to see how many runs we ended up scoring this season, as we had to be one of the greatest offenses of all time. It's crazy to think, like, the record in the integration era is over 1,000 runs scored. That was only in 1999. It was actually Cleveland who did it. But that's the steroid era. I'm surprised. I didn't really know that 1999 Indians team was that good. But 922 runs is phenomenal. Still an amazing offensive season with a team average of 289 in a non-steroid season. The Dodgers were still good too, 832. But like, yeah, we're better. And they're a wild card team. Offensively, insane. There are 6 awards that we've won. Grayson Rodriguez with the Cy Young, Jackson Holliday, Quan, and Kauser with gold gloves. Gunnar Henderson gets Hank Aaron, MVP, batting title, and triple crown. He ends up hitting 357, 67 home runs, and 177 RBIs on the season for his third straight MVP. Part of that is due to the fact that he just got way more opportunity than anybody else in this league because he had Quan and Arias in front of him. Manzardo finishes second, puts together a really, really good season, and Judge finishes third, but it's just not comparable. Rodriguez wins the Cy Young, 279, 17-4 is probably why, because McClanahan put together a better season, but wins matter a lot. On the NL side, Shohei Ohtani wins another MVP, 46 home runs, 120 RBIs. I think Acuna deserves this over him because that 346 average. And Spencer Strider takes the Cy Young over here with a 382 and 224 strikeouts. I actually do want to check. Hudson Haskin, who we traded away for Tristan Beck, essentially, ends up winning Rookie of the Year, B potential, 245. Good for him. Wouldn't have played for us. He was sitting on our bench for 2 seasons. But good for him to win Rookie of the Year. I feel like this list is going to be long. The pitching one is great. Bradish, winning percentage, 850. Whip for Rodriguez leads the way there for pitching. How small is the font for the hitting? It's tiny. It's tiny. It's a lot of Gunnar, okay? Gunnar leads the way with batting average, hitting 357 on the season. He also leads it. Oh my God. Okay, 229 is insane. Arias hit 208 and Quan hit 201. We had 3 guys hit over 200 hits in the same season on the same team. And they didn't even lead in at bats. That was Jacob Wilson. But Quan and Arias lead the way there too. So just crazy here. I see Westberg in doubles. I see Westberg and Holliday in triples. And then Gunnar just crushing the way in home runs and RBIs with 177. See Adley down here with 109. Quan with 104. We had 4 guys with 100 RBIs on this season. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 guys with 100 runs on the season. We also led the way in wins with the top 3 with Rodriguez, Bradish, and Knack. I don't normally look at that, but it's just funny to see. Saves leader is Emmanuel Clase with 52. 257 for McClanahan leads the way in ERA. And your strikeout leader is Cole Reagans with 192. On the NL side, Ronald Acuna put together a really good season. 346 average this year, takes the batting title. I think he deserves an MVP from it, but isn't able to get that. 210 hits from Bichette gets him the lead there, over 200 hits. Bregman also had 200 now on the Dodgers. I still expect to see them in the World Series. Shohei Ohtani with 46 home runs there leads the way in the NL. Saves leader on the NL side is Jojo Romero of the Diamondbacks with 50 saves. Your ERA leader is Christian Scott with a 2.61 for the New York Mets. And your strikeout leader is Spencer Strider with 224 for the Atlanta Braves. Mick Abel was terrible this season. He pitched to a 7.52 ERA, 1.87 whip, ends up getting 5 losses. He's probably the reason we don't end up winning 110 games because he was really, really bad this year. Wanted to give him a shot. I think we gave him a shot. We'll still give him another one next year. I'm hoping he'll be better next year because this was pretty bad from him. Anybody else get sent down? Bo Brisky gets sent down, 225 in 48 innings on a 1-2-1 whip. Doesn't deserve to. We'll call him back up. Tristan Beck also gets sent down, 3-2-2 with a 1-3-4 whip. Not as great. I think Bresky could come up for this postseason. Povich 405 with a 1-4 whip this season. Brant Herter 244 and a 107 whip in 107 innings for the relief pitcher. Love the move we made for him. Brian Hoeing 239 with a .84. I love Brian Hoeing. Yenier Cano 363 with a 121. Brito wasn't really here. Garcia 233 with a 106, and Evan Phillips 174 with a 106 whip. 37 saves in the season. That's just a sign of how offensively dominant we were. We won 107 games, and he got 40 save opportunities as our closer. 40. 37 made, 3 blown. Crazy to think how good we were this season. Starting rotation, Grayson Rodriguez, 279 with a 1-0, with a 1.00 whip for the Cy Young winner. Bradish hit a 3.76 average or ERA and a 1.32 whip. Singer was injured for a good portion of the season, part of why Mick Abel got starts. 3.53 with a 1.14. Braxton Garrett 3.92, 1.17, and Landon Knack 3.62, 1.15. So we did see regression in the pitching department outside of Grayson Rodriguez, but the bullpen was phenomenal. The game sent down Dylan Carlson, who had a 2.61 average and a 3.20 on base percentage. Was decent, but he gets sent down. I'm gonna guess, yeah, they called up Enrique Bradfield. Brian De La Cruz, a 276 average for him, 4 home runs as a platoon lefty. Weston Wilson no longer got that platoon spot this season, 263 and 2 home runs, because I wanted to give it to Richie Pryor, who hit 267 and 4 home runs. So slightly better, I think, and I'll take that as my platoon guy. Their stats are basically the same, and he's younger and can develop to continue to get better. And then when it comes to the lineup, 312, over 200 hits for Arias, 300. 100 RBIs, 25 home runs, over 200 hits for Quan. Yes. Adley Rutschman, 292, 36 home runs, 109 RBIs for Rutschman. 285, 22, and 100 for Westberg. 270, 27, and 80 for Kobe Mayo. Okay. Only 224 for Jackson Holliday, but hit 20 home runs and 74 RBIs. 286, 26 home runs and 78 RBIs for Kierstead. 269, 25 home runs and 75 RBIs for Kauser. That means every single player hit over 15 home runs. Only Arias hit under 20. And only Arias, Westberg, and Holliday hit under 25. We had 6 guys hit over 25 home runs, 8 guys hit over 20, and all 9 hit over 15 home runs, including Gunnar Henderson, who's going to roll with 229 hits, 36 doubles, 8 triples, 67 home runs, 177 RBIs, 82 walks, a 357 average, 433 on base, 751 slugging, almost a 1200 OPS on the season for a total of 12.7 WAR. I'd expect to fall off soon, but this is crazy how good he has been for us. Like, let's just even look. Like, Rutschman, this is an insanely good season. 912 OPS. He ends up racking up 8.5 WAR. Westberg, really good season, 285. He ends up racking up 6.4 WAR. Quan, amazing season for him. He ends up with 6.1. Arias is like our worst defensive player. 3.9 WAR because he played that. Kobe Mayo played DH, so probably not as high. 3.2 WAR. Jackson Holliday was our worst offensive player. 3.6 WAR. Kierstead, he was the platoon guy, 1.7. And Kauser hits 3.8. I mean, come on. This team is insane. But I also understand. Like, you got to be real for a second. The idea of paying this amount of money is probably not possible for the Orioles owner. But if he was able to do so, you're the 1 seed. Again. We're the 1 seed. Again. Can we three-peat? That's a quick dynasty. I feel like if we win this, we got to keep going. We have the New York Yankees in our first series here in the ALDS. I'm hoping we can get a good, clean run here. We're going to go Rodriguez versus Gilbert, Bradish versus Eel, and Singer versus Max Fried in this one. Game 1, Rodriguez versus Gilbert. We win that one 3-2. Bullpen game, Robert Garcia gets the victory. Bradish versus Eel in Game 2. We win that one 9-5. And going into New York for Game 3, Singer versus Fried, we do lose. So Garrett versus Gilbert in Game 4, we win. We don't get the sweep, but we advance. We are playing Cleveland in the ALCS. I think I will go Landon Knack to start this off. I'm pretty confident in him. We have starting our series here in Baltimore. So Game 1, Knack versus Hicks, we win 5-2. Glad I did it. means that we get to save Rodriguez for game 2 versus Alcantara. We win that one 8-7. We are up 2-0. Just need to steal a game off of Cleveland here to really cement it. Bradish versus Bybee in game 3. We win that one 4-3. In game 4, Singer versus Gavin Williams. We lose. We lose again. We just need to win one of these at home. Landon Knack versus Jordan Hicks. We win. We advance. We are taking on the Diamondbacks. We don't have the Dodgers, but we get another NL West team for a third straight year. Corbin Burns versus Grayson Rodriguez to start. Bradish versus Ranger Suarez. And then Singer versus Fott. This is going to be a good one. I mean, the Diamondbacks are also a very good offensive team, and they've got a good core of players. We should be better. Game 1, Rodriguez versus Burns. We lose 0-1. No offense shows up in our first game. That puts us in the back foot. We lost a game in Baltimore. Game 2, Bradish versus Ranger Suarez. We win that one. We have to steal a game in Arizona now. We are 1-1. Singer versus Fott. We lose game 3. We are on the back foot. Braxton Garrett versus Corbin Burns in game 4. We win. It is 2-2. We have taken a game off Arizona. In game 5, Landon Knack versus Dylan Cease. We are down 3-2, meaning we are going to be going into game 6 and game 7. Must win games in order to win this. Bradish has been terrible. Rodriguez should hopefully get us game 6 and then against Suarez. And then I don't know if I'm going to go Bradish in game 7. But let's get into this. And yeah, we're going to quick manage. Diamondbacks are hitting 300 so far in the postseason. We are only hitting 266 and our ERA is 446. We have been much worse so far in the postseason than we were. And to say that we are much worse than we are in game 6 of the World Series is saying something. We are going to be rolling Grayson Rodriguez here in game 6. Our lineup is phenomenal. Richie Pryor's batting hasn't been good. De La Cruz's batting hasn't been good. So our two lefty bats are a little bit of a concern here, but we can do it. They have Jake McCarthy. I think that's Oswaldo Cabrera. Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, Alec Thomas, Reese Hoskins. I don't know the catcher. Jordan Lawler and Taylor Ward. Okay. Rodriguez versus McCarthy to start it off. Ground out single and a fielder's choice gets us out of the first inning. Luis Arias with the ground out. Ground out and a ground out to get out of that one. Hoskins and then Adrian Del Castillo gets out of that one. Adley Rutschman with ground out. Ground out. Solo home run from Jordan Westberg takes a 1-0 lead here in game 6. Brian De La Cruz with a double. Single hits him in from Colton Cowser. Fielder's choice. We are up 2-0 as Jordan Lawler comes in. Taylor Ward with a double. McCarthy gets a single to hit him in. Cabrera, or stolen base from McCarthy. 1 run scores. It is 2-2 as they kind of small ball us through that one, through the third. Arias gets a single. Quan gets a walk. Man on first and second for Gunnar. Fielder's choice. Pop out for Rutschman. Pop up for Richie Pryor. Fly out, strike out, and a ground out gets us through the top of the fourth. The bottom of the fourth, Westberg with the strikeout, and a ground out. Walk from Lawler, strikeout from Ward. Double from McCarthy gives the Diamondbacks the lead. Single from Cabrera gives them a 4-2 lead as Rodriguez is falling apart here. Strikeout from that. Error gets Luis Arias on base. I need a home run, Gunnar. Ground out. Okay. Rodriguez, get me through the 6th. He is able to do so. We are going against Ranger Suarez. Single from Richie Pryor. Fielder's choice gets Westberg on base. Instead, ground out. Making the pitching change here in the top of the 7th. We are going to go to Brian Hoeing. Ground out, strikeout, single from McCarthy, single from Cabrera, fielder's choice. It is the bottom of the 7th. We need to make a rally here. They're making a pitching change to Ryan Nelson. Triple from Colton Cowser gets us on third base. Sac fly from Jackson Holliday makes it a 1-run game. Single from Arias. Pop out from Quan. Pitching change to Jojo Romero, who gets a fielder's choice. It is the top of the 8th. Brian Hoeing walks Corbin Carroll. Fly out, ground out. Hoeing goes 2 and makes it out of it. Bottom of the 8th for Adley Rutschman. They're going against John Curtis. Single from Adley Rutschman. It is still a 1-run game. Single from Richie Pryor. Men on first and second for Jordan Westberg. Fly out. Brian De La Cruz. I think this is a righty, I want to say. I'm going to make a pinch hit here. We are going to go Kobe Mayo in this spot. He strikes out. Colton Cowser Big chance here for Cowser. Fly out. I'm going to have to make the defensive substitution now for Kobe Mayo. We're going to swap over to Heston Kierstead. Brian Hoeing, we're going to make the pitching change here to go to, I guess, I feel like you got to go. Nah, I trust Breesky. Ground out. Single from Ward. 2-run home run from Jake McCarthy. Error from McCarthy. All right. I've lost it. We are down 3. Justin Martinez comes in. Single from Jackson Holliday. Single from Luis Arias. Single from Stephen Kwan. Gunnar Henderson is up to bat. I got to go in. We got to see it. We've got a man on first and second. We are down by 2 here in the bottom of the 9th with Gunnar Henderson on bat and Adley Rutschman on deck with no outs in the 9th inning. This is all down to really the best part of our lineup. We have a shot here. Justin Martinez against Gunnar Henderson. With the pitch, Henderson swings and misses at a splitter outside. 0-1 count for this. This could be a big thing. If Gunnar hits it, he is not only a 3-time MVP, but he is a hero. I want to see it. With the pitch, he swings and misses at another splitter low and outside. I don't know why he's swinging at that. He's overeager. Just relax, Gunnar. 0-2 count with the pitch. Hits that one, fouls it off. Come on. That's like 3 straight splitters. Just take it. 0-2 count. Gunnar Henderson. And on first and second. Why is he swinging at that? Strikeout Gunnar. That's going to leave it down to Adley now. Why did he swing at all 3 of those pitches nowhere near the zone? They're making a pitching change. Going to Keaton Wynn for Adley Rutschman. With a pitch. Grounded over to first. That looks like that's going to be it. Double play. We are unable to do it. No three-peat. The Diamondbacks take us out. Upset us here in 2027. And we are unable to three-peat. But we were really, really close. I was really hoping I'd see Gunnar do it. But Corbin Carroll wins it. The Diamondbacks win it. We are unable to do it here as one of the best offenses ever falls apart in Game 6 here of the World Series. And we'll see if we can make it back next year, try to make it to 4 in a row. But we are not going to be three-peating here, despite my desire to do so. No Dynasty just yet. Adley Rutschman was our playoff MVP, but Oswaldo Cabrera ends up winning the World Series MVP for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Adley Rutschman, postseason MVP. Arias was right there. Gunnar was right there. Gunnar only had 1 home run this postseason. And they had Alec Thomas lead the way there. Yeah, we just were not that good in the postseason this time around. Generally, we had been pretty good. This time, we end up falling apart, are unable to really pull it together. So, we're going to be back in 2029. I accidentally said 2027 before. To try to make it our 3rd World Series in 4 years instead of being able to three-peat. Maybe that pressure will be off us a little bit, and we'll be able to put it together. But should be the whole team back. I don't think we have any really upcoming free agents. The roster is still set. And so coming off of the 2028 failure to win 3 in a row, we are still going for that 3rd title. And we're still going for trying to get an ace in this rotation of a guy that we can develop, which I think can happen very soon. I know it hasn't been something I've mentioned or focused a whole lot on, but it is something that I wanted to do and get a goal for us and have somebody. And we have the guys who can be that. I think Pablo Sandoval is one, and I think the other one is even better. We have a lot of like top prospects of the pitching staff. When you look at this team, Darryl Durbin. It might be a little bit before he comes up, but still, when we look at this, I think we're in a good position to possibly repeat. We did absolutely nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Made sure it's the same rotation, same bullpen. Made sure that we have the same lineup entirely. Same team. Run it back. At the All-Star break, we are leading the very competitive AL East. Our pitching staff has kind of underperformed so far this year, but our lineup is still phenomenal, so we're in a good position to be able to win a very competitive division where I know that there's also a chance that we might have to be a wild card because the Blue Jays are really good and the Yankees are really good. When it comes to All-Stars, we actually don't have a starter this time. Grayson Rodriguez is a backup, the number 2 pitcher in the American League behind Logan Webb of the New York Yankees. We don't have any relievers. And then when it comes to the lineup, no Adley Rutschman, mainly because William Contreras is hitting .373. We don't have a Jackson Holliday. We don't have Jordan Westburg. And for some reason, Gunnar Henderson is not an all-star. Stephen Kwan is, which is good. Gunnar Henderson is not an all-star. I will repeat, Gunnar Henderson is not an all-star. Granted, as I show his numbers, I understand completely why. He is not at the performance level he was the last 2 seasons. I was expecting him to maybe drop back down to a 10 WAR. He's fallen down to 2, or technically 3, at this halfway mark, and little bit of warning signs here. I hope that doesn't mean full regression. At least we have 296 from Kwan, 291 from Arias, and 302 from Adley. With 1 month left in the season, we are 83-52, still one of the best offenses in the league, and the pitching staff is serviceable. So, without us making any moves at the deadline, we're kind of just staying pat. I didn't really feel like it made a lot of sense to go buy, and I think that with our pitching, the problem is the guys that I drafted at starting pitcher, they all are just a little bit, I don't want to say too far away, but I don't know if any of them could start for a team that's trying to win a World Series. So we're rolling with our team, and we've been able to do so. We should be able to win our division. We have a decent enough lead against the Blue Jays, and not too hard of a schedule left in the season. 106-56, we win our division, and we'll be taking on the winner of the wild card playoff game. Pretty good turnaround second half of the season. We did get an award. Grayson Rodriguez wins his 2nd straight Cy Young Award for us here in Baltimore. Gunnar also put together a season. He came back 2nd in the MVP. Kyle Manzardo wins the MVP, ending Gunnar's streak with 48 home runs, 135 RBIs, and 306 average. He definitely deserved it. Gunnar did play well in the second half, ended up catching up and put himself back in the race after a really poor start to the season. Grayson Rodriguez wins the Cy Young, 20-7, 285 ERA with 170 strikeouts, beating out Logan Webb by, that's a really close race between the 3. Wins obviously played a part. When it comes to the NL side, Ronald Acuna wins the MVP, hitting 280, 41 home runs, 102 RBIs. For the Atlanta Braves, Cy Young goes to Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Los Angeles Dodgers. League leaders for us, Braxton Garrett with winning percentage, Grayson Rodriguez with wins, and Grayson Rodriguez with whip. And on the hitting side, Stephen Kwan with doubles, hits, and Luis Arias with walks. Batting average and the batting title in the AL goes to William Contreras, who hit .341 for the Detroit Tigers this season. Didn't lead in hits, that goes to Stephen Kwan's 201. You can see Gunnar down here with 192 and Luis with 187. So we were still, had the other guys still right there, just not as good of a season as we had recently just had. Doubles was Kwan, home run leader was Kyle Manzardo with 48, Gunnar and Judge tied for 2nd, and Manzardo led with RBIs as well. So really good season for Manzardo. Saves leader was Jeff Hoffman with 48 saves, beating out Evan Phillips by 1 on the season for the Toronto Blue Jays. ERA leader Logan Webb beat out Grayson Rodriguez by .01 on the season with the New York Yankees, and your strikeouts leader Garrett Crochet with 224. On the NL side, Kyle Tucker led the way with a .312 batting average, getting a batting title for himself on the Dodgers. Bryce Terang led in hits, tied with Austin Riley, both with 185 on the season, and your home run leader, Nolan Gorman, tied with Ronald Acuna for 41 home runs. Saves leader was a two-way tie between Dennis Santana and Jeremiah Estrada with 47, and Felix Bautista did get 2nd or I guess third technically, with 46 for the Washington Nationals. ERA leader was Freddie Peralta with a 2.37 for the Philadelphia Phillies, and your strikeout leader, Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Los Angeles Dodgers. One big reason we were able to make the flip is that around the time when we were struggling, I went down and I sent down Bo Bresky because he was pitching to a 5.37. He never got his chance to come back up because he was playing very, very poorly. Also in AAA, Tristan Beck got sent down. This was something that the computer did. Probably deserved to be up because he was really, really good this year, 2.21 and a 1.15. Other guy we sent down was Robert Garcia. I actually optioned him and DFA'd him, so he is done for us. When it comes to the actual roster, you can see Mick Abel, not great, but was decent this year, much better. He started off really bad on the season, but actually was a positive pitcher this year. Glad to see that. Brant Herter, 258 with a 1.12. Brian Hoeing, 370 with a 1.29. Kate Povich, 310. Good season. He struggled in the beginning. Moved him down to a lower part of the bullpen. Took him out of the long relief role. Put him in a deeper spot of the rotation in the bullpen. Really, really good. 310, 131 when he was only having to pitch one inning at a time. So he might just be a bullpen arm. I don't know if he's actually going to be a starter for us, and that's a bit concerning. But Johnny Brito, 0.93, only 9 innings pitched, and Evan Phillips, a bad season, 4.92. He did get 47 saves, but that's a really bad year from our closer. We're going to have to fix the bullpen going into the offseason. Grayson Rodriguez, 285, 101 with the Cy Young again. Kyle Bradish, 363 with a 135 whip. Could bring him back. I think he's been okay. Brady Singer, 357 with a 112. Braxton Garrett, 423 with a 121. And Landon Knack, 364 with a 125. There's a good chance we are going to need to probably fix this pitching rotation going into next year. I think I also brought up Darren McCon. And yeah, he wasn't really that great either. So we are going to have to look at, is it time to just bring up our guys, Sandoval, Caruso, all of that, or do I have to go sign guys in free agency? Game sent down Weston Wilson, who hit 247 with a 360 on base percentage off our bench this season. Didn't really deserve to get sent down. I think he's the only guy who did this season, but I think they just wanted to make room for Bradfield. Oh, that means that somebody else must have got sent down too, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe I'm blanking. Don't think so. Enrique Bradfield hit 429 and 7 at-bats, too small of a sample size. 307, 376 on base percentage for Brian De La Cruz as a platoon lefty. Richie Pryor hit 272 in 136 at-bats this season with a 344 on base percentage. I don't know when he'll be able to take the spot from Luis, but Luis has been so good that you just can't hate on it. Austin Martin, Nah. We'll trade him. Luis Arias, 283, 13 home runs, another 180 hit season for him. He's at 1,776 hits. Stephen Kwan, 305, 25 home runs, gets a third straight 200 hit season for the left fielder. Gunnar Henderson, second in the MVP race, 341 home runs, 130 RBIs. It's nice to hit behind Kwan and Arias, right? Nothing as crazy as that 2028 season, but still 40 home runs. That's another year with a bunch of power. He hits over 300, doesn't fall below it, gets a 950 OPS this year, and does get up to at least a 6.6 WAR. Something I was concerned he might not reach. Did get a Silver Slugger on the way, despite, the kind of poor start he had to this season. Adley Rutschman, 287 with 28 home runs and 104 RBIs. He's regressing a little bit, but he's still a very, very productive catcher, 7.7 WAR. 255 for Jordan Westberg, 253 and 33 home runs for Colby Mayo. 254 and 26 home runs for Jackson Holliday, 274 and 20 for Heston Kierstead, and 27 home runs, 269 for Kauser. That is another year where, if Arias hits 2 more, we have just insane power in this offense. If you combine Arias and Richie Pryor, that's a crazy year. We are at pretty much everybody over 20 home runs again. We are taking on the Kansas City Royals here in the ALDS. They have a little bit of a weaker pitching staff. I wonder if They got rocked in the series, but I think we'll be okay. Grayson Rodriguez versus Kadruna in game 1. We're the way better team. We should be able to win this. In Baltimore, we lose game 1. Tristan Beck blows it, you know. CPU's like, hey, you should set him down. I'm like, no. Should have listened. Bradish versus Kodai Senga. We do win another one, coming back, taking a game back off of them. Singer versus Bubic in game 3. We win that one. We are up 2-1 with 2 games left. Braxton Garrett versus David Shields. We win and advance to take on the New York Yankees in the ALCS. We are going to, I think I'm going to switch that to make sure that we have the right guys up. I'm going to go make sure I have, you know, Grayson starting this series instead of Landon Knack. Want to make sure I have my ace ready to go. I'd like Landon Knack, but need to make sure I got my ace ready to go. For the New York Yankees, Grayson Rodriguez versus Logan Webb, number 1 and number 2 in the Cy Young for game 1 in Baltimore. Rodriguez versus Webb. We are unable to do it. Rodriguez gets blown up, and Logan Webb pitches a gem. We lose 3-9. Bradish versus Logan Gilbert. Again, in Baltimore. We do win that one. We need to take a game off of them in New York. Brady Singer versus Louis Seal. We lose that one. We are down 2-1. Landon Knack versus Jose Barrios. We lose another. We need to win this game. It is 3-1. Garrett versus Logan Webb. We are back in it. It is now game 6 in Baltimore. Grayson Rodriguez versus Logan Gilbert. We win, making it game 7 in Baltimore. Bradish versus Louis Seal. We were the better team, but we've been pitching poorly in the postseason. New York Yankees have a fantastic pitching staff, and so we are going to need to take this one here in Camden in Game 7 to advance to the World Series against the Milwaukee Brewers. I think I'm going to go Kyle Bradish here in this one. I trust him. And Luis Arias and Gunnar. And ooh, guys. Yikes. Brian De La Cruz is hitting 833. Okay. All right. So, not a good start for us, I guess. Jonathan India, Jason Dominguez, Aaron Judge, Ben Rice, David Fry, Austin Wells, Spencer Jones, Yorbit, My Vivas, and Anthony Volpe in the lineup. Can we take down the New York Yankees as a wild card team? They get a decent start. Dominguez gets a steal. Men on second. We get him out. Single for Reyes. Pop out for Quan. Henderson gets a walk. Men on first and second for Adley. Bases loaded for Jordan Westberg. Need to take the sac fly. We are able to do so to take a 1-0 lead here in this game. Walk for David Fry. Single puts men on first and second for Vivas. Fielder's choice puts runners on the corners for Volpe, and a ground out gets us out of that one. We ground out. Error to get Kirsten into first. Single puts runners in the corners for Luis Arias. I'm just going to swing. Probably should have sac flied there to take the extra run there. All right. Jonathan India versus Bradish. Ground out, walk, strikeout, and a flyout. There's a good... We could switch to a lefty, and we'd be in a really good position with how many lefties they have in their lineup. All right, Gunnar versus Seal walks to get on to first. Single from Rutschman puts runners on first and second for Westberg. Flyout, strikeout, and a walk puts bases loaded for Heston Kierstead, who flies out. I think... I'm still going to go... Oh, I should have... I was considering switching to a lefty, and I feel like I should have. But a solo home run from David Fry gives him the lead. Runners on first and second, but we get out of it. It is 1-1. Solo home run shot from Colton Cowser to take a 2-1 lead. Arias gets on an error. Walk from Quan. Single gets the score. We are up 3-1. Pitching change. They're going to Michael Arias. And a 3-run home run from Adley Rutschman takes a 6-1 lead as the powerful Baltimore offense has woken up. Here in Game 7, runners on first and second. Cowser bases loaded again. What a powerful fourth. We bat around the order to take a 6-1 lead. Solo home run shot for Dominguez. I'm making the pitching change. I am going to do exactly what I just said I was going to do. I'm going to go to Povich here. Fly out, walk for Rice. Fielder's choice, single, and a strikeout. We get out of that one with the lefty. Single from Rutschman. He's 3 for 3 on the day, and we continue to move. Bottom of the 6th, we are playing very well, 2-6. Dominguez gets a single, strikeout. Single from Rice puts runners on first and second for David Fry, strikeout. Single, bases loaded for Spencer Jones. I'm going to make a pitching change right here. Just give me one out, Brant Herter. He is able to do so. Getting out of the squeeze, we are to the bottom of the 7th. They're switching to AJ Puck for Cowser. Strikeout, and we get out of that one. I think I'll go Herder is... Oh, runners on the corners for Dominguez. Strikeout. Runners on the corners for Judge. I am not dealing with that. And I will go Ben Rice versus Brant Herder. Strike him out. The strategy to not go against Aaron Judge works out. 6-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Gunnar Henderson, solo shot to make it 5 again. Fly out for Rutschman. Single for Westberg. Fly out. We are going to get out of this one. We're going to make the pitching change to go to Evan Phillips, who flies out, ground out, and we advance, coming back 3-1, and are going to take on the Milwaukee Brewers in the World Series. The Brewers have Shane Bieber, Tobias Myers as their number 2, and Jesus Luzardo in their rotation. I know Freddie left, and they have been still really good. They had a Cy Young winner in Bieber at one point. We are the favorites. We are the better team, but Milwaukee has been here already. We are in our 4th World Series appearance in 4 years. Can we take it and win 3 of the 4 after losing to Arizona last year? Singer versus Bieber in Game 1 is a 5-3 victory. We are up 1-0. Game 2, Landon Knack versus Tobias Myers. We win that one, taking both games in Baltimore. Going to Milwaukee, Braxton Garrett versus Jesus Luzardo. We win Game 3, and can Rodriguez close it out versus Rasmussen? Nope. 1-0 loss. He actually pitched a gem. Just had one. We had no offense. Game 5 in Milwaukee. Bradish versus Bieber. Oh, we lose both of those. We are going to Game 6 for Singer versus Tobias Myers. We do. We win our 3rd World Series, cementing the dynasty here in Baltimore. And still with the core intact, ready to advance for more potential wins and a deeper dynasty beyond just the 3 that they've won. Jordan Westberg is World Series MVP, and your playoff MVP is Colton Cowser. Westberg hit .364 for 1 home run and 5 RBIs in the World Series. In the postseason, Cowser led the way, .375, 3 home runs. Mayo had .340 and 4. Rutschman, 4 home runs, big one in Game 7 of the ALCS against the Yankees. Jackson Chourio led the way for the Brewers. Bryce Terang and Tim Chappell, the guy who I probably should have taken in one of the other drafts in 2025. Yeah, he's really good. But yes, we advance. We win another one. That's 3 of 4. And even without really building a crazy pitching staff, we were able to do this and win another one. I mean, if you think about it, we were really hoping that we could develop some pitchers, and I guess I'll go one more year and just see if we can win another. We'll go till we lose now that we've gotten it, and maybe I'll check to see if we can build a bullpen and bring in some of these pitching prospects we've gotten. Bring in Tejada, that left fielder that we have. Or am I thinking of a different rebuild? I might be. I think the left fielder's name is Taveras. Maybe we can bring him in. Couple different things we could do. I think we go one more year and see what we can build here with the core that we have drafted. Maybe we can win 4 in 5 years. So we're going to go another year. Why not? Welcome to Baltimore, Paul Skeens. I'd say if there's one thing that I failed to do, it is give a chance to some of our top prospects in our system. Maybe I will halfway through the season if people are not as good as they look this year, but it just makes so much sense, and these guys I don't really believe are going to be that good. Maybe outside of Sandoval. I actually believe in Sandoval, but still, 60 walks per 9, not very good. So what we're doing this year, as we try to run it back, Paul Skeens brought in Bowden Francis because he was $10 million or $11 million. Trevor Rogers is finally going to make his way up. And then we got Ryan Nelson for nothing. And then got Lucas Ursig in free agency for $5 million for nothing, essentially. And that's the team. We have guys in AAA that could come up. Kelly James, you've got all those starters. We have some relievers like Boggs and Ken Chavez and a bunch of guys there. And in the lineup, the only difference that we have in this season is I wanted to try Pedro Taveras. And so he is going to be a lefty DH, not playing much against righties, but if somebody were to be playing bad, I think he could take the spot. However, this is all about winning another one, so we're not going to push somebody if they don't need to be up. We're just going to run it otherwise normally. And Araya's injury hurts, but we got guys to play. It gives Richie Pryor a chance to finally actually start at first base, and I can bring up Pedro Olivo to play as a backup. When it comes to the standings, we are 62-34 at the All-Star break, not as productive. You can actually see the offense is no longer as dominant as it has been, or especially as it was back in 2028. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of the fall off of some of the young elements of the core, as those guys aren't as young anymore. I think Gunnar being the big one, we kind of saw it start to happen last year, and it sucks that it's happening as early as it is with him, but it's starting to happen, and we're starting to see some regression, I think, within just the production at least. Ratings not as much, but mainly in the production, where I'm not certain that this team is going to be set up for really good and maintaining the dynasty. But with Paul Skeens now, and with a lot of pitching prospects on the way, it's going to be hard to deny that the pitching staff eventually is going to be unbeatable. Paul Skeens is an all-star, not a starter, 12-3 with a 2.62 ERA and a 1.10 whip, though Garrett Crochet dominating that. In the AL, in the bullpen, we actually don't have any, despite putting, I think, together a very, very good bullpen this year. Mason Miller is pitching phenomenally, I guess. Adley Rutschman is an all-star starter at catcher, hitting 27 home runs so far at the break, 296 average. Getting that for him. Jackson Holliday is an all-star, 291. Maybe he's taken the next leap up for us as Gunnar starts to slip, so maybe the dynasty is still going to be alive. When we look at third base, Jordan Westberg is an all-star, hitting 272 as an all-star starter at shortstop. And the big two, Bobby Witt and Gunnar Henderson, are both all-stars, but Bobby Witt's hitting 244 and Gunnar's hitting 257. Much further down from where they were just a couple years ago. Stephen Kwan is an all-star at left field as well, and we don't have any other ones, but still, that's a lot of all-stars. I'd say if there was any move that we made as a mistake, it was this Mlbtheshow move. Now, we would have never given him the shot to develop accurately, but the fact that what we've gotten back has been Mick Abel, who just, yeah, he's not that good, and he has been pretty poor again this year. I want to make room for one of our prospects to come up. I think Kenny James could totally contribute this season, and so I'm going to trade Abel. Well, glad we paid him $400 million, but we're 93-43. Good chance of running it back. Offense woke up. Pitching staff, absolutely phenomenal. We'll win this division again. Question is, can we make it to another World Series? Wow, do the injuries pile up right at the end of the season. Goodbye, Heston Kierstead. 112-50, despite all the injuries, it didn't come out to matter. We win the division. 69% winning percentage. Another phenomenal season. And Adley Rutschman runs away with an MVP this time. He gets it 297, 38 home runs, 130 RBIs, getting us another winner as Adley seems to put another great season together. Garrett Crochet wins the Cy Young. Grayson Rodriguez was third. Looks like Jackson Holliday was second, the batting title. We had some rookies start. Nobody in the Rookie of the Year, though. When it comes to the NL, Shohei Ohtani wins another MVP. That is number 7 for him, beating out his teammates Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman. Cy Young winner goes to Jared Jones of the Pittsburgh Pirates, taking over now that Skeens is gone. Batting title goes to Aaron Oliva, center fielder, third-round pick from 2026 for the Cleveland Guardians. Beats out Jackson Holliday with a 315 average. Hits leader this season was Jake McCarthy with 189. We had Adley in third, tied with Kwan. You know, we didn't have a good season from Gunnar, and no Luis Arias because he did get hurt this year. When we come to home runs, though, you can see Adley was second. Rafael Devers led the way. I see Gunnar did lead in triples. on the season. But Rafael Devers leads in home runs with 45. Saves leader was Richie Del Villar of the Kansas City Royals with 57 saves on the season. ERA leader Christian Javier with a 2.27 for the Blue Jays. Cody Bradford in second. Our main man. When it comes down to strikeouts, Omar Campaneris of the Los Angeles Angels have 212 strikeouts on the season. Kyle Tucker gets the batting title with the Dodgers, hitting 328 on the season. Hits also led the way with 190, beating out the two Pirates. Horwitz and Brian Hayes actually got a bat going this time. Doubles was 52 for Turner, and home runs, Shohei with 46 led the way as 3 Dodgers dominate. Maybe we'll see him again. Ooh, that could be a fun rematch. Saves leader is a tie between Justin Martinez with 51 and Felix Bautista with 51, who seems to have put together these last 2 seasons pretty well after we let him go. Good for him, I guess. ERA leader, Jared Jones with a 2.52 for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the strikeout leader, Kevin Garcia of the St. Louis Cardinals with 224. Taking a look quick first at our injured list, Heston Kjerstad with a 5 to 6 month injury. He ended up averaging 224. Very, very bad year for him. Was only a 1 WAR player. And then Paul Skeens this year, 2.80 ERA in the 25 games he played before he got hurt with 131 strikeouts. He really had a great shot of winning the Cy Young if he stayed healthy. So the game sent down Kelly James, and he had a 1.11 ERA and .74 whip in 32 innings. It's a small sample size, but a phenomenal outing for the rookie as we gave him a shot this season, and he pitched really, really well. We might have a legit good starter on our hands with the second-round pick from 2025. Anybody else get sent down? Brian Hoeing did. 363 with a 116 whip. So a little unlucky. We do have a kind of a mediocre defense, and so that didn't help him with a lot of that. Brant Herter also got sent down. He kind of deserved 2 more, so 4.35 with a 1.45 whip on the season. When I look at the major league lineup, Cade Povich 330 with a 1.24 whip for him. Boggs didn't play. Contreras didn't play. Ryan Nelson 244 with a 101. Johnny Brito with a 291 and a 111 whip. Trevor Rogers 236 with the 120. That was a player that finally got a chance to play for us. I mean, he was traded in 2024, and we really didn't give him a shot until 2030. So, sorry, Trevor Rogers. And Lucas Ursig, 343 with a 119 whip in 48 saves for him on the season. I think that realistically, you'd probably go with one of the new closers like Boggs. I think after this, we'd stop probably signing free agents. When it comes to the starting rotation, wait, 0? 0? Not just 0 home runs, 0 runs? We found the ace. We found the ace. It's Rich Caruso. That's the ace. We've drafted an ace. What? I know it's a small sample size, 45 innings, but he pitched 45 innings and didn't give up a run in 45 innings. That is 8 games. He played 8 games and didn't give up a single run on the season. Wow. Yeah, he was the guy who came up for Skeens. Okay, Grayson Rodriguez, 381 with a 110 with a 110 whip. Landon Knack with a 356 and a 119. Brady Singer, great season, 283 with a 105 for him. And Bowden Francis, kind of a mediocre signing, I guess, 414 with a 122. Especially knowing now that Kelly James and Rich Caruso are that good. Didn't expect that. Well, anyways. Okay. Lineup-wise, Enrique Bradfield got sent down, hit 239, 345 on base percentage, so good at getting walks. A very small sample size, though, as he was pretty much just taking over for Heston Kjerstad in the outfield. Don't look like anybody else got sent down for us. So in the lineup, Pedro Olivo, not good. Vance Honeycutt, I guess, is up as well. Pedro Taveras was very good, though. 165 at-bats, hit 303, 6 home runs. Richie Pryor, 276, 4 home runs, 344 on base for him as he played 57 games, making up for Luis Arias' injury. When it came up to the actual lineup, 285 and 28 home runs for Quan. Luis Arias hit 311. Oh, if he would have been able to stay healthy, this could have been a crazy season for Luis Arias. Gunnar Henderson, 253, 30 home runs, 97 RBIs. He's still a 99 overall. But, yeah, going from, I guess he's back down to like here, which I guess is okay. So he's back down to 2023 Gunnar Henderson, which is still fine. 5.6 WAR is still really good. You just, when you see the peaks, you expect the peaks, and he doesn't maintain that peak, I guess. But Kobe Mayo, 283, 26 home runs. Adley Rutschman, your MVP, 297, 38 home runs, 185 hits in his games. Hit with a 917 OPS and racked up 8.3 WAR on the season. Fantastic year from Adley. Jackson Holliday has now got up to a 93 overall, 310 with 24 home runs and 99 RBIs. I love to see it. He has, look at that, from 700 to 800 to 934. The bat has woken up. He is an 8.3 WAR second baseman. Jordan Westberg, 274, 26 home runs and 114 RBIs. Like, this is a core for any team. This has been like our fifth and sixth best player on our offense. Brian De La Cruz, that is it for him. He was a really, really good value signing. Really, really good value signing. And produced all the way until 2030. Colton Cowser, 236 with 11 home runs and 70 RBIs. He is regressing as well. So we'll see what we can do in this postseason. I don't think we're going to have Paul Skeens. And so I guess we've got Rich Caruso. Paul Skeens is back, coming after his separated shoulder. He will be pitching. I decided to move Caruso and James into the bullpen. So we're going to go Skeens, Rodriguez, and Landon Knack to start off the series against Boston in the ALDS, with the hopes that we can make it to another ALCS here, taking on Crochet. Skeens versus Crochet in game one. We win 5-4. Good bullpen game gets the victory. Rodriguez versus Bayo in game two. We lose. Losing a game in Baltimore means we're going to have to take one off of them in Boston. Landon Knack versus Pablo Lopez. We dominate in game three with a 14-1 victory. We are up 2-1. Singer versus Buck Love in game four. We advance. We'll be taking on the Royals or the Yankees. It's the Kansas City Royals. We will be able to go Bowden Francis or Paul Skeens. I think I'm going to switch it to Paul Skeens here in this one. Big question. Did Caruso? Oh, wow. Caruso gave up his first run ever in the postseason. And gave up a lot of them. Not good. Sorry, Caruso. Anyways, when we go back to our game here, Skeens is going to start this off, then Bowden will go in game two. Skeens in game one versus Alec Marsh on the Kansas City Royals. We lose 2-6. Kelly James gets the loss despite not giving up a single run in the game. That's disappointing. So that means it was a extra innings affair. Bowden Francis in game two against Chris Bubik. We lose both in Baltimore. We're going to have to win them in Kansas City. Two bullpen games losing there. Kansas City, Grayson Rodriguez versus Brandon Pfaadt. We win 10-5. In game four, Landon Knack versus David Shields. We are down 3-1. Singer versus Marsh in game five. We lose and finally do not make it to the World Series. The Kansas City Royals beat us. And I guess the question is that going to be the way for the Dodgers to finally make it back in? The Dodgers do. Come on, Royals. Beat them down. Don't let the Dodgers ever win. One win for the Royals. 1-1. 2-1. 2-2. 2-3. No, the Dodgers won. All right. But that's a good place, I think, to stop, for us. The Dodgers have defeated the Royals in the 2030 World Series. We were unable to make it back, but I think we've done a great job of building a dynasty here in Baltimore with a lot of potential for growth in the future. I mean, ignore that. You've got an amazing potential starting pitcher here in Kelly James and Rich Caruso. You have Grayson Rodriguez and Paul Skeens still here, and Brady Singer still here coming off of a really good season. You still got a lot of guys here. And then we have Pablo Sandoval. We have, the Panda. You have a couple other guys like bullpen arms that are interesting. You've got Daryl Durbin, who has been the number one prospect in baseball for the last several seasons. And we're going to expect him to be phenomenal once he comes up. Connor McDaniel looks like he'll probably be good. Leo Cortez should be good. The pitching staff is going to be great. That's not even mentioning how good the lineup is, because now Jackson Holliday will probably be in MVP conversations for the next couple years, and Jordan Westberg, and they still have Adley off an MVP, Gunnar. This team is going to be unbeatable for the next 10 seasons. But we have done, I think, our job here with Baltimore, winning 3 World Series in 5 years, going to 4, building a dynasty, adding a new ace, building a team, keeping the core together, and showing what would really happen if they made smart decisions, extending their players, giving their guys, and then also going after actual young pitching talent. They have not drafted pitching in Baltimore, and they need to start doing that in order to actually have a chance of keeping a potential window for this pitching staff, or for this lineup, and they have to invest in it in free agency, in the trade market. And so I'm hoping that this is a little bit of a guide, to Mike Elias. I'm just kidding. I don't think he's actually going to watch anything like this. But still, we have done it. We have won 3 World Series, created the dynasty here in Baltimore. And, well, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for coming along. And we'll see you next time. Adios.
Go home.